Tonight on the Black Channel. Well, folks, here it's been a year coming, but the white supremacists are going insane. Absolutely insane. And I, of course, been doing my job as the anchorman of the New Black Media to document every inch of it here. Shiloh Hendrix. Shiloh Hendrix, who they stupidly, ridiculously chose to be their poster child for white supremacy because they're looking for crash dummies all over the place. But look, they're looking for operatives. They're not looking for martyrs. They're really not. That's not what they're looking for. Well, Shiloh went ahead and got martyred for them. Was what ended up happening here. So can you all believe she went to a park and was shouting racial slurs at an autistic black child? She decided in the age of Trump she can double down on stupid. She figured the most it could be would be a misdemeanor. So of course we're going to stand for white supremacy, who will fund us. White supremacy will send in money. And what they found out was, as we said, white supremacy is a system. A system means a chain. But remember, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And if you can break a link in that system, any link along the path, then the system of white supremacy breaks down. And all your money will not help you under those circumstances. And boy, oh boy, oh, Shiloh got to be the guinea pig for that. Can y'all believe this white supremacist heifer sat up here and went to court to try to fight this misdemeanor charge? Now, you all know how this works, don't you? When you go to court, the prosecutor usually offers you a deal. If you go ahead and spin the wheel and take the deal, prosecutor go ahead and let you off with something here and whatnot. But we all know what happens if you choose to try to fight the prosecutor. Now, you can do that. You can do that. But if you figure you're going to go ahead and take it to trial and we're going to slug it out, then the prosecutor's going to be like, man, drop the court on them. Because they want to send a signal to people that you can clog the system if everybody fights the charges. But if everybody knows, hey, especially if you know you did it, oh, you don't want to go in there with the prosecutor like, yeah, we ain't taking no slack on you now. We're just going to go ahead and drop it on you. Well, that's what happened to Shiloh. Shiloh attempted to fight it when she should have just let the damn thing go and plea bargain out and be done with it. She decides to go ahead and take it all the way. And of course, she was charged with disorderly conduct. She was charged with 2 counts of disorderly conduct, one towards the autistic child, one towards the autistic child's father. She was found not guilty of the disorderly conduct charge toward the child, but was found guilty of the disorderly conduct charge toward the man. So that was what happened there. It came up snake eyes. Oh, it came up snake eyes. Now, folks, first of all, we're going to go ahead and slow roast this tonight. We're going to get to the white supremacists wigging out here in a little bit. We're going to get to them. Don't worry. We got time tonight. First, I want to start you with her attorney. This is her attorney. He's looking rather disheveled here. I don't know if he's been drinking or not. I don't know what's going on with his forehead there, but this was him after the conviction. And listen to what he has to say. Please try to refrain your laughing.
I think it's sad. I think it's sick. I think shocked. I've never had a trial where they keep people. This is a misdemeanor, by the way, till 10:30 at night. Never even heard of that one before.
Black folk get this kind of stuff all the time. They keep the damn courthouse open 24 hours a day for us. I never heard of this. It means he's never heard of it for white folk is what he is. So all of a sudden the court system gives them black treatment. They're like, hey, everything's screwed up. Everything's messed up here now. Now, when it's black folk, oh, well, the court can do that. They can do anything when you're black. But he's often, I've never heard of him being over late here before. And they kept the jury in session and never seen that. Oh, you mean you've never seen it for white folk before? So when the system treats everybody equally, all of a sudden these other folks start talking about, I ain't never seen this before. Of course you haven't. You've only weaponized it towards black people. You've seen it, just not against anyone but us.
I think it's sad. I think it's sick. I think shocked. I've never had a trial where they keep people. This is a misdemeanor, by the way, till 10:30 at night. Never even heard of that one before. Most courts, most counties, what they do is around 4:30, 5 o'clock is they say, okay, we're going to send the jurors home. They got kids, they got families, they got things to do. No, we're keeping them. I've never heard of that before. So that alone, I know this is a thing, I guess, Olmsted County, they do this. I thought that was bizarre. But the verdict itself, let's make something clear here. Let's make something very clear. She's acquitted, not guilty, right? Not guilty with the child. The state reads a 5-minute victim impact statement about the child. She was acquitted about the child. She's convicted on the count involving the cameraman, who they never called to testify. Keep this in mind. They never called the cameraman to testify.
There's a bunch of y'all in the chat room talking about, is he drunk? Did he hit the bottle before he got there? It looks like, I don't know, folks, but you're noticing the same thing I did, which is, he looks a bit disheveled, doesn't he? Looks like he wants to hurry up here so he can get on down to the liquor store or something. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on with his forehead. I don't know why he's talking as if there's a problem here. The whole damn court here is messed up. Glug glug. What the hell is this right here? I remember back in 74. So I don't know what's going on. A lot of y'all are like, is he inebriated? I don't know. I'll let you all make up your minds for yourself. But this is the dream team, Johnny Cochran level defense team that she was able to put together here.
She's acquitted about the child. She's convicted on the count involving the cameraman, who they never called to testify. Keep this in mind. They never called the cameraman to testify. This judge prohibited us from telling the jury that Shire Jamali had a GoFundMe page, $340,000. He testified that it was done in May last year, done. That's not true. There's a link on the bottom of the page that goes to another open account.
What the hell does this have to do with anything? Shiloh Hendrix's GoFundMe is still open, folks. They're talking about this in Newsweek. The fundraiser for her surges after the verdict. Okay, but if it's aren't they supposed to cancel these after you get convicted for something, even for Give, Send, Go? I mean, she's been convicted, remember? Carmelo Anthony, you've been convicted. Aren't they supposed to shut it down? That's what they said about him, right? Okay, well, if she's been convicted now, aren't they supposed to, didn't Give, Send, Go say, oh, we don't keep them open. If you've been convicted of the crime, we don't keep them open. You can't just raise funds after you've been convicted. Isn't that what Give, Send, Go said? So hers is still open here. And so it's just like, okay, what the hell is he talking about? And by the way, what about Give, Send, Go? Apparently we need to remind them of their own rules over there, because they said after you've been convicted, oh, you can't keep it open after that. We shutting that down. Okay, well, she's been convicted now, so ain't it time to go ahead and liquidate them funds?
My investigator hit the link last night, donated $10. It's open. You can donate right now. You can donate right now to...
And we recommend that you do.
Shire Jamali's GoFund page right now. It's open. He tested.
Okay, don't go contributing because they might go off and go buy a bunch of cheeseburgers back in Somalia. But my point is, the attorney is very, very upset about this. He is very ventilated. My investigator went and gave $10.
Nigga, what?
Yeah, y'all, boy, I'm telling you, he hired an investigator. How much money did Shiloh Hendrix pay this fella? That's what I want to know. To fight a misdemeanor. He couldn't even defeat a damn misdemeanor. How much money did she pay him? is what I'm trying to figure out. He went and hired investigators. He's doing all this. He's had a year. How much money did you pay this guy? Where did you find him? Was Ben Shapiro's brother busy? What in the hell? I mean, she went and hired this dude to fight a misdemeanor. And this was, you thought you were going to get something better than this?
Fight under oath and perjured himself. He perjured himself over and over and over and over again. This was without any stretch of the imagination. It was like I was fighting the prosecutor and the judge. It was like I'm taking on two parties at the same time.
I fight the story, and the story always wins. All right. John Cougar Mellencamp. All right. It was like I was fighting everybody, and everybody was kung fu fighting. Boy, I'm telling you, if he's not drunk, he'll do till the drunk guy gets here. This is like a bad John Grisham novel, y'all. This is like a bad John Grisham novel. I was in the court. He's doing this for the white supremacists. I was doing my best. I'm fighting everybody. Don't blame me. I was fighting the court was against me. The judge, the website is, it was a kangaroo court here. Everything was wrong. It's upside down.
The judge and the prosecutor, it was very bizarre. Very bizarre. GoFundMe. Huge, worldwide, giant. It's like Google, right? This is so big. My investigator was going to testify that this page with Shire Jamali's name on it.
Talking about the judge and the prosecutor. What about Kyle Rittenhouse? The judge and Kyle Rittenhouse's defense attorneys were literally on the same side with each other. We showed y'all the pictures. The judge is literally sitting there with Kyle Rittenhouse's attorneys, not the prosecutor. The judge is sitting over there with Kyle Rittenhouse's defense attorneys, but this guy is complaining about that now. Now all of a sudden he's complaining about the judge and the prosecutor being against him. And it's like, wait a minute. The Kyle Rittenhouse trial, nobody was saying that then. Nobody had an issue with that. I don't think this judge got off the bench to go sit with the prosecutors, much less the defense attorneys.
5-year-old. The kid's 9. 5-year-old. 304 is going to testify that this page with Shire Jamali's name on it. 5-year-old. The kid's 9. 5-year-old. $340,000 he raised. The judge would not let me show it to a jury. Sorry.
So is he trying to put the father on trial? Hey, the kid's not 5, he's 9. Wrong age. What does this have to do with her charges, bro? Folks, what Yelp page did she get him from? Fella. I mean, I am not a lawyer, but what does this have to do with her running around yelling nigger at people in public and making a nuisance and threatening? What the hell does this have to do with anything? And yes, that is threatening when you are a white supremacist yelling nigger at people. That is a precursor to terroristic action. So yes, that is when uttered by you, that is a terroristic threat. Yes, it is. And don't let anyone lie to you otherwise. When white supremacists say nigger, that is a terroristic threat. We have the history to prove it. But in any case, y'all, yeah, they found this Facebook Marketplace attorney here. And I mean, y'all just listen to him rambling about this. He's just going all over the damn place.
The judge would not let me show it to the jury. Okay? And if you go through any of you right now can go online right now, and they're just like, you can't authenticate this. You can't lay foundation. This prosecutor is telling the judge, oh, how do we know this is real? How do we know this is real? So anyone can make this up. You can go online right now, today, right now, go on that page, unless they run and take it down, scroll down. He has an open GoFundMe. He said on the stand he does not. He lied and lied and lied and lied. This entire thing's a shakedown. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. The prosecutor should be ashamed of himself. The judge should be ashamed of herself. I had a battle here for 4 days on a stupid misdemeanor disorderly conduct. This is nuts. This is crazy.
I mean, y'all, the more he talks, the more inebriated he sounds. It's getting worse here. Shiloh's, you almost feel sorry for her white supremacist self, boy. This is her legal defense right here. He's going into meltdown. I told you people, these people are melting down about this. No civility, no decorum, no dignity, just falling to pieces. Brother, you should have told her, look, you need to just plea bargain this out. That's what you should have done.
340,000. Nope. Can't show the jury. 5-year-old. Kid was 9. His name's on it. Can't authenticate it. Still open account. So we're going to appeal it. We will appeal it.
Are you going to be the one appealing it? Because based on your performance in this courtroom, you're going to be the one appealing it? Oh, she might want to hand the ball to somebody else. Yeah, I'm not her legal advisor. It's like, Shiloh, you getting beat up so bad. Let me help you out with this, ma'am. Yeah, I know white supremacist female. Yeah, Shiloh, let me give you some help. Is he going to be handling the appeal? Because, whatever you done paid him is about to triple. I can see that right now. So, yeah, even if you want to appeal this, which would be felony stupid, but even if you want to go that route, you might want to hand the ball to somebody else. The A team is not working. You might want to hand the ball to the B team. That's my advice to you. If you do choose to carry forward with this, let's find somebody else.
We have so many appellate issues, I don't even know where to begin. Judges scream.
People, if your attorney says that we're going to appeal, and then he follows that up by saying, man, I mean, we got so many, what are we going to appeal? We got so many appellate issues, I don't even know where to start. Where's my Jim Beam? It's just, folks, if your attorney responds with that statement, we got so many issues, I don't even know where to start. As I just told you, we might want to hand this appeal ball to somebody else. I am no longer convinced that this is the right person to be leading this. That was the wrong sentence to get. We got so many issues, I don't even know where to start. I could just see him right now just filing the paperwork. Man, appeal this bastard. That's his damn statement. To the ladies and gentlemen in the appellate court, man, the judge is an ass. Just appeal this bastard. This is all just stupid. I can see that being the motion. It's like, okay. Did anybody read any of the motions that he filed whatsoever? Does he even know if he did any? Okay, he's upset with the wrong people. That's the problem right there. Brother, you upset with the wrong people, okay? I know you had a job to do. You had to go take one for the white supremacist team. I get it, but you're doing too much right now, y'all. He is doing too damn much.
5-year-old. Kid was 9. His name's on it. Can't authenticate it. Still open account. So we're going to appeal it. We will appeal it. We have so many appellate issues, I don't even know where to begin. Judges screaming at me during the trial. Judges interrupting me every time I want to make a record. Judge says to me, Mr. Corrales, you keep wanting to make a record after I rule. This is crazy.
Y'all, did he just do the crazy finger waving by the side of your head gesture here? This fella is melting down. Y'all thought I was exaggerating. This fella is melting down. The judge kept arguing with me and blocking me and this. Really? This doesn't sound like a legal eagle when you say that right now. The judge was, I couldn't win. The judge was out to get me. He didn't say a word about what the judge was helping the prosecutor. The judge is out to get me. Okay.
Rulings during a trial by a judge are made during the trial. And then when you take a break, you make a record, right? You take a break, you make a record. I kept asking. If you're in there and you watch the trial, I kept asking, I need to make a record. I need to make a record. She'd get upset, run in the back. Get upset, run in the back. Your Honor, I need to make a record. It started piling up. All these objections started piling up. Your Honor, I need to make a record. I need to make a record. She'd run in the back. I'm like, Judge, we got to make a record. This is insane. This isn't law.
Okay, folks, for those of you who've been to court a few times, when the hell has a court case ever hinged on this? We could have won if I could have made a record.
Nigga, what?
I want y'all to think about this for a few minutes. How many of you, even if you watch court TV, when was the last time that you heard a court trial? Well, you know, Dan, the court, I don't know, man. The defense attorneys, I don't know why they didn't make a record. They could have won this case. Johnny Cochran, you know, I don't know how he won OJ's case without making a record. We need to have it on the record. We need to make a record here. It's just, oh boy, you were almost winning, Shiloh. You almost won if the judge hadn't stopped us from making a record. People, are you listening to this? This is her attorney. And you're wondering why this went the way it did, other than the fact she was guilty as hell. Dude, just because you were unable to convince her to just go ahead and plead guilty, just because you were unable to do that, the judge, I couldn't make a record. You're supposed to make a record. He went on and on about that. First break, if you have a break, make a record. You have another break. Hey, the whole day going, why can't I make a record? As if you're winning the case hinged on that. That's what he's going to file in the appeals. I was prevented from making a record, and as you can clearly see, she's not guilty because I wasn't allowed to make a record. Come on, folks.
Law. This is a circus. This is monkey court. This is nuts, right? You make a record. The judge should come out and say, okay, I made my ruling, Mr. Corrales, what is your record you like to make?
He's still on the damn record thing, y'all. He hasn't left it yet. He's still on the stupid record point. Shiloh, ma'am, if you're watching, please consult one other attorney's. I'm trying to help your ridiculous raggedy ass. Please consult any attorney anywhere else. Just call up one at random. Use some of that give so and go money you stealing and call up one attorney at random and just say, by the way, what do you think about this? Just out of curiosity. And find out, they're like, well, you know, I mean, he's got a point. He's going on and on about this damn record thing as if that was the real point that needed to be made. But the record, though, is about the record.
Upset, run in the back. Get upset, run in the back. Your Honor, I need to make a record. It started piling up. All these objections started piling up. Your Honor, I need to make a record. I need to make a record. She'd run in the back. I'm like, Judge, we got to make a record. This is insane. This isn't law. This is a circus. This is monkey court. This is nuts, right? You make a record. The judge should come out and say, okay, I made my ruling, Mr. Corrales, what is your record you like to make? I try to make a record. She interrupts me from the beginning. Right from the start. Every time I tried to make a record, she interrupted me. Every single time. Every single time. I'm like, Your Honor, I'm trying to make a record. That's what we do as lawyers, right? I don't know if the lay people or the people in the community understand this. The way trials work is judges make rulings during trial. We don't want to interrupt the trial to make a record every time someone objects and there's a ruling. So when there's a break or you go to lunch or at the end of the day, you make a record. She wouldn't let me make a record. If you're in there, you heard it. She'd talk over me. She'd interrupt me. Wouldn't let me make a record. Over and over and over.
He is still going on about this stupid record.
Boy, what in the hell's the matter with you?
Folks, he's still on it. Never mind the fact that she was guilty as hell and yelling nigga, nigga, nigga all of. He ain't said a word about that. He's still going on about this stupid record. That's what he's pouncing on. Okay, tell me you ain't got a point or a leg to stand on without telling me you ain't got a point or a leg to stand on.
Over again. Why? She didn't want anybody to hear what? They didn't disclose the name of Shire Jamali until Monday. The first day of trial. No, I'm not done.
Sorry.
Until the first day of trial.
You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you? Look at me, boy. Don't you smoke crack?
Y'all, somebody was trying to stop him from continuing to make a hell. No, let me keep going. Glug, glug. As a matter of fact, let me see if I... Okay. All right, let me get me a fifth over here. And the record, that's the problem is, you don't understand, you lay people don't get it. We gotta be on the record. You don't circulate. Don't interrupt me. You wait. And then you wonder what the hell happened. Benjamin Crump is looking damn good right now. Y'all ain't never seen Benjamin Crump like this. Okay, you cut him some slack. Ben Crump ain't never come out like this. Ben Crump has never come out looking like he just finished off a fifth of hen. And you just wait a minute right there, nigga. That's a really problem with y'all crackers. Benjamin ain't never did this.
We don't want to interrupt the trial to make a record every time someone objects. And there's a ruling. So when there's a break, or you go to lunch, or at the end of the day, you make a record. She wouldn't let me make a record. If you're in there, you heard it. She'd talk over me. She'd interrupt me. Wouldn't let me make a record. Over and over and over again. Why? She didn't want anybody to hear what? They didn't disclose the name of Shire Jamali until Monday. The first day of trial. No, I'm not done.
Sorry.
Until the first day of trial, they didn't even disclose his name. Think about that. A trial, a jury trial in the United States of America. I didn't get the name until Monday. When we started the trial, until Monday. And then my investigators do a record check. Then we uncover, oh my God, he's got this GoFundMe. $340,000.
Mr. Krellis, a couple of things.
Sure.
According to the court, you agreed to those free trial terms about not getting the witnesses beforehand and...
Did not agree to it. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. I thought I was coming down here to try a free...
Uh-oh. Oh, no wonder he didn't want to. Hey, you agreed to these terms. No, I didn't. Now he's going to start explaining, but y'all, she stopped him. Like, wait a minute, the record officer, you agreed, you didn't get the names, you agreed to all this. No, not really. I mean, it's in between the Johnny Walker Black and the Thunderbird. I don't remember doing nothing like that. Okay, so no wonder he didn't want the reporters talking.
Oh my God, he's got this GoFundMe. $340,000.
Mr. Krellis, a couple of things.
Sure.
According to the court, you agreed to those free trial terms about not getting the witnesses beforehand and...
Did not agree to it. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. I thought I was coming down here to try a free speech case. You all saw the video. I thought I was coming to Rochester to try a free speech case based on the video. Then it took on an entirely different, it just turned, right? Mr. Jamali takes the stand. Wouldn't answer any question I asked him. He sat there like this. Oh, I don't understand. He looked at his interpreter. I don't understand. I don't understand. Over and over and over again. When the prosecutor asked him a question, he had no problem through the interpreter understanding. Never had a problem understanding. Not one time. I put the detective on the stand. Detective, did he ever have a tough time understanding you? Never had a tough time understanding him. Never had a tough time. Not one time did the detective have any problems understanding. You were in the jury room, or in the trial. You were in the courtroom. You were in the courtroom. You're in the courtroom. He acted like he didn't understand.
You get a car. You get a car. You get a car.
Prosecutor asked him a question. He had no problem through the interpreter understanding. Never had a problem understanding. Not one time. I put the detective on the stand. Detective, did he ever have a tough time understanding you? Never had a tough time understanding him. Never had a tough time. Not one time did the detective have any problems understanding. You were in the jury room, or in the trial. You were in the courtroom. You were in the courtroom.
You get a car.
You're in the courtroom.
You get a car.
He acted like he didn't understand any question I asked him. Every single question was like pulling teeth. It's like, huh? Oh, It went on and on and on. This is a fraud. This whole thing's a fraud. The cameraman? By the way, let's make something clear. They didn't convict him with the child. Your headlines can be about the child. No, they convicted her on the video with the cameraman. The disorderly conduct is about the cameraman. Right. And from what I understand about the cameraman, he has a GoFundMe. And his GoFundMe, his GoFundMe is he died. He has a GoFundMe that he died. Give money to the cameraman who died. And from what I understand, he's well alive. This whole thing is fucking bullshit.
Mr. Crow.
This is a...
Oh, y'all, the drink done got him.
Damn!
Oh, boy, that's it. He's off the rails now. Oh, now he's off the rails. That was it, boy. Y'all let him keep going. He's gone. Oh, he's gone. Y'all thought I was exaggerating about they melting down out there. He's gone. See, people, this is the kind of screwball ass defense that black folk usually get. You get that public defender. You're like, did this nigga even look at my case? Hell, has he been in the office anytime this year? This is the kind of Negro defense that we usually get right here. This guy must be if he's not a public defender, he needs to sign up to be one. Because this is the kind of crazy ass screwball defense black folk usually get. You usually get a fella like this. I mean, he looked like he just woke up off the couch. Oh, he looked like he'd been sleeping in a cardboard box on the Interstate 20 overpass. Looked like he finally made his way down to the courtroom. He don't know nobody's name. He doesn't know anybody's name in your case. He's reading your file for the first damn time when he sat down in the courtroom. It's like, okay, what's your name? Johnny? Jason. Okay, Jason is all right. Let's see here. We got a traffic ticket. No, misdemeanor, disorderly conduct. It's okay. All right. Okay, so this was back when you were 5 years old. No, it was a 5-year-old. He's sitting there reading your case for the first time right there 2 minutes before the judge about to swing the damn hammer. So, yeah, I'm amazed he could draw this out for 4 days. People, when's the last time you all could draw out a misdemeanor for 4 damn days? They said this was a 4-day trial. She's already getting her damn white privilege. How many of you have ever been able to go into a courtroom and drag out a misdemeanor for 4 damn days? Like it's the damn O.J. Simpson trial. 4 days. He's complaining that he had 4 days. If you can't make your misdemeanor case in 4 damn days, get the hell on up out of here. You are wasting all of our time if that's the case. 4 days for a misdemeanor trial, and he's sitting up here talking, they didn't give me, the judge was blocking me. I needed to put it on the record. You saw it. All of you niggas back here, you seen it too. Man, look here. Oh, boy. So if y'all were wondering how it went down, oh, man, it was terrible. Her lawyer got out the courthouse, and it's just like, oh, boy, he stumbled his way down the steps, and he's just coming unglued and unhinged, and oh, man. I don't know who the white supremacists thought was the legal team on this case. I don't know who they thought it was, but boy, if they had known who it really was. Oh, man, she rolled straight to a damn misdemeanor, and not even for the kid. It's like, oh, well, not for the cameraman. It's just, okay. And he's outside the courthouse coming unglued. This is what happens when a courtroom runs like it does for black folk. When you have a courthouse that runs for white folk the way it does for black folk, this is how it goes right here. The attorney's like, where in the hell am I, Alice in Wonderland? He don't know where the hell he's at. We don't have to speak to nobody. I didn't agree to that. Notice he didn't say where he didn't agree to. I mean, I thought it was going to be a freedom of speech case. I'm not convinced he knew what the hell. I thought it was freedom of speech. It's disorderly conduct. You didn't see what the hell she was charged with? Folks, by the way, he said he thought it was a freedom of speech case. She was charged with disorderly conduct, sir. The police didn't run in at the last second and say, Yana, we want to amend this indictment to change it from freedom of speech to disorderly conduct. That's not what they said. He saw she was charged with disorderly conduct, and then y'all just saw him, no, I didn't agree to that. I thought I was coming from a freedom of speech trial. So, yeah, it's like, yeah, baby, he probably didn't even look at your damn thing. You've been paying him thousands of dollars, and his paralegal has been sitting there trying to fight your case. His paralegal has been sitting in his office trying to fight your case. But yeah, he ain't looked at a damn thing. Yeah, Shiloh, you need to go back and do an audit. Tell him he needs to show you everything he did, because yeah, he already agreed to stuff, and then you get to the damn courtroom. Well, and then he talking about, I didn't do that. The reporter just said, well, you said that you agreed to these terms. I didn't agree to that. He's like, I did. By the way, y'all, for the reporter to say that, that sounds like things were on the record now. What? Sounds like they made a record of that. Oh, man. Sounds like they made a record of that. So, oh, man, boy. Well, folks, you got to understand, people are upset. People are incensed. They are beside themselves. They literally don't know what to do. It's a bad time to be them. It's even a worse time to have to sit and witness everything that's going on for them. It's just terrible. It really, really is terrible here. Let me go ahead and show you a little bit here. Remember, we don't have any friends. Glenn Greenwald. Glenn Greenwald is sitting up here talking about, one can find Shiloh Hendrix's behavior repulsive, but still criminalizing the use of racial slurs can't be reconciled with the First Amendment's free speech guarantee. Yes, it can. She was charged with disorderly conduct. Now, understand something here, folks. These people talking this garbage, they're not stupid. They know that she was charged with disorderly conduct, and they know that this is the very definition of disorderly conduct. They know this, and yet they're all talking as if they don't understand that she was charged with disorderly conduct. Not with calling folks niggers. She was charged with disorderly conduct. That was what happened. So now they're all playing stupid, including your so-called leftists. Now they're playing dumb about it. Yes, because when it comes to white supremacy, they can sit up here and talk about Donald Trump and Iran all you want to. But when it comes to indicting white supremacy, all of a sudden the so-called left wing and the so-called right wing both become twin wings on the bird of white supremacy. All of a sudden. So it becomes that. Oh, but we ain't done with it yet here, man. What is this? Nick Fuentes wants to investigate whether or not he's Jewish. What? Okay, we'll come back to that later. That was an interesting tidbit. We'll come back to that later. All right, folks. Well, when you go to Twitter and type in Shiloh Hendrix, you can see the folks going crazy. I've been watching it for days now. Matt Walsh is going into rehab. They're having a full nervous breakdown is what they're having. It's ridiculous. The white supremacists are coming unglued, and it's been delicious to witness. Now, first of all, they're angry as hell about the fact that they're looking at the case. There is no black person to blame. They can't point and say that the black folk run the system. So they are going now they're looking to otherize the white people. So you're a female, you're a Jew, the chick, you're fat. So this is what you're looking at here. The names and faces of the Shiloh Hendrix prosecution. Thank you, because we need to know who we need to reelect. Michael Spindler Cage, the Rochester city attorney who brought the charges. Nicholas Chabelle, Jewish lead prosecutor. He's not the only one. Don't worry, there will be a familiar face who will come up here in a moment here. Stay tuned, sports fans. On the right, Krista Daly, fat judge doing all she can. Folks, what does that have to do with it? Look, when I say they're coming unglued, what a fat judge doing all she can to ensure a conviction. What the hell does that have to do with anything? So if she were a size 2, would that make you feel better? Would you then accept it if, and what is doing all she can to ensure a conviction? What is that? He doesn't give any details. Just fat judge doing all she can to ensure a conviction. He gives no details. Just take my word for it. She's fat, she's against us. Oh, these white supremacists are going insane. This has ripped their psyches apart. You fat judge! He's talking like she was standing by the front doors with a banana peel. Nothing like the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. You want to talk about a judge doing all they could? Judge Schrader was basically on the defense. He was literally on the defense's table. However, in this case, she's doing all she can to ensure a conviction with zero details or evidence. Trust me, bro. She's fat and she's not screaming white supremacist platitudes. So she's doing all she can and without saying a word about what she did. What did she do? She didn't do anything. Trust me, bro. She's doing all, if she's not tipping the scales to protect white supremacy, then she's doing all she can to ensure a conviction. Then you take a look at the Carmelo Anthony case. Okay, so boy, I mean, they have just come completely disassembled. The wheels flew off the wagon. I mean, they went completely nuts. And this has been so delectable. Cookie! Oh, we chewing it up. Oh, you're licking your fingers. This is just delectable to see them coming completely mentally and emotionally unglued. And oh, he's just going there. You know, it's a Jew in there and a fat woman. That's right. Let the hate flow. Let the white supremacist hate flow. Oh, let it come gushing out of your pores. Just go ahead and let it all hang out. Go ahead and do that. They're upset because this fella right here set up like a page and white folk been sending money to it. He been pretending to be Shiloh Hendrix and he's bragging and he scammed them for donations. So boy, they are mad as the black man who committed wire fraud. Oh, they are going incensed, people. They are going nuts. They are going nuts at that. They are angry. This right here, they're already having a rough ass week. He just came along and rubbed their faces in it. He came along and rubbed their faces in. Don't you see they already having a rough ass week? Don't you see they already down in the dumps? And now he's sitting up here mocking them, making a fool of them. So they're like, I'll be damned. Oh, man. So good for him. Good for him. Oh, the white supremacist accounts, they were all counting on her to slide on it so they could all say the world is safe for white supremacy. Nope. It's become a whole lot less safe to practice white supremacy, and they're mad as hell about it here. So just look for all of them. They're going nuts. They're going crazy. This was supposed to be one shot and we're good. It just wasn't happening here. It just wasn't happening. So, yeah, they're trying to keep up a brave face. Then you got, like I say, we want to talk about stop Asian hate. Yes, I would like to stop the Asian hate because there's a lot. When we talk about the Asians who identify with white supremacists, yeah, the Asians will be real quick to do that. And when folks start putting the boots to them, hey, no more white supremacy. Okay, what about this? Because remember, there was a black woman in New York who got arrested for yelling at Asians. Didn't put a finger on them. Y'all remember that from a few years ago? She got arrested for a hate crime for yelling at Asians in New York City. None of these folk here talking about the First Amendment. They didn't come to her defense. Hey, Glenn Greenwald, nobody could find you then. Now, she got arrested, didn't put a hand on anybody. Glenn Greenwald was nowhere to be found. A white woman gets rightfully arrested. All of a sudden, here comes Glenn Greenwald. Hey, First Amendment. None of these First Amendment people ever show up when we're being targeted. None of these Second Amendment people ever show up when we're being assaulted. All of a sudden, none of them can be found. The only time they show up is if a black person has the First Amendment protecting them or has the Second Amendment protecting them. That's if a white person tries to infringe on your First Amendment rights or Second Amendment rights and they're not allowed to do it, here come the so-called white liberals and the white supremacists on the right. All of a sudden, they all become the same. They only care about protecting white people with the First Amendment or Second Amendment, but when you're black, if a white person assaults you, you don't have any First Amendment or Second Amendment rights. You don't have any. And they'll sit there and be totally quiet because, oh, you're not supposed to have any rights. I don't know if this is legit or not, but definitely here, we all, if she said this or not, we all know the verdict. We all know how unfair and unjust it is. Heifer, you're on video. How can it be unfair? You're on video. This is why I will be appealing. If this fella gonna be appealing it for you, you wasting time. Things are already in motion to do so. I don't know about that based on what I've seen. I will never stop fighting, and all of you give me so much strength and hope to keep my head in the battle. I don't know what I would do without your support. Ma'am, we saw what you did with their support. It wasn't very damn impressive. So, yeah, it wasn't very damn impressive. Oh, take a look, you all. Here is good old Dale Partridge. Didn't we just cover him a little while ago? Yeah, didn't we just cover him a little while ago? Tucker Carlson, I think, has talked to him, I think. But here's old Dale Partridge. Didn't we just cover him a little while ago? The white supremacist historical revisionist who's making up his own false story of American history. The state's lead prosecutor against Shiloh Hendrix is Nicholas Chabel. Yes, he is Jewish.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
Yeah, buddy. What he says, by the way, you know the lead prosecutor is a Jew. Well, Ben Shapiro, I thought you were all white people. Hey, folks, I thought they were all white people. Thought y'all were all white people. Do one thing they don't like, you know you're a Jew. That's the only reason the niggers got him, because there's a Jew involved. Okay. Hey, go take it up with Ed Bloom. Go take it up with him. If you got a problem with that, y'all need to do something out there. Ed Bloom's out here, sitting up here and joining in with the white supremacists. You need to do something out the Ben Shapiro's because they're the ones opening up this lane. Prosecutor just doing his job for the obvious guilty individual, and yet they're pointing out that he's Jewish, not that he's liberal. They didn't say he's liberal. They didn't say he's a leftist. They didn't say he's a communist. They didn't say he's a socialist. They said you are other than white. If the prosecutor had been black, can you imagine the things they'd be saying had the prosecutor been black? But it's like, okay, find something else. Well, you know he's Jewish. Never mind the fact that Shiloh Hendrix is guilty. They're not talking about her being guilty. It's just, we're white supremacists, damn it, and this is what we do. Folks, remember, we want this. We want them to come out of their holes, you white supremacist scum and vermin. We want you to be on Front Street. We want you to say all of this in front of everybody. Say this in front of everyone. Put it on Front Street. Put it on the front page. Stop sneaking around and saying it in the shadows. Put it out here so we can document you year after year. Trump has put a battery in your back and made you feel emboldened, and we want you to wild the hell out while you feel emboldened and go on the record so we can document it so that when the pendulum inevitably swings back the other way, which it's already on its way to doing, you can't run and hide and say that that's not you anymore, nor can you say that you are not the enemy that must be exiled and vanquished, because you've already gone on the record clearly stating who and what you are. And these incidents set up here and made you emboldened to do that, so you can't walk this backwards. You're on the record. You won't get to walk this backwards. Oh, it ain't gonna work. Oh, Matt Walsh, y'all. Matt Walsh. I mean, his scruffy looking raggedy self here, boy, Matt don't know what to do, y'all. He don't know what to do. They thought the Carmelo Anthony case was going to be the end of the world and white supremacy's forever, and just that quickly they're falling. But I've noticed a lot of conservative influencers not saying much about the Shiloh Hendrix case because they're smarter than you, Matt. Even though it's one of the most flagrant and clear-cut First Amendment violations we've seen. People, when has Matt Walsh ever defended a black person's right to say something a white person didn't like? Simple question. When has Matt Walsh ever defended a black person's right to say something that a white person doesn't like or approve of? When has he ever done that? Let me know when you got something you can come back with. I guess they're afraid they'll be called woke, right, or whatever. Really pathetic display. So the scruffy mountain man sitting out there who's noodle neck mountain man, as you can see, he's not taking this all well, folks. We're days later and he's still posting about it. He's traumatized. He's shell-shocked. This is what happens when you are experiencing white supremacist trauma. It's days later, and as you can see, this is taking up full real estate in his mind because he understands, oh, that's it, they already got her. And it's cut and dry. You're not supposed to have a blonde-headed, blue-eyed white woman, or are those eyes actually blue? Anyway, you're not supposed to have some blonde-headed, blue-eyed, even if it's bleach blonde, looking at that hair, oh boy. So she went to the Clairol people first. But you're not supposed to have a blonde-headed white woman who's supposed to sit up here and not be able to practice open white supremacy? She was supposed to be a trailblazer, the Betsy Ross of bigotry. Bigot Betsy Ross was supposed to make the world safe for white supremacy. And just that damn quickly it went south. So they're like, we need a mascot who can actually get the ball over the finish line, get the ball into the end zone. And yeah, she got smacked down. So Matt's like, damn. You see, remember, every victory fuels the next victory, and every defeat fuels the next defeat. So when you see white supremacists being stopped from practicing white supremacy by the system, then you have a systemic breakdown. That's the one thing they count on more than anything else, is that there is a system. We've always said that. You can't have black supremacy because there is no system to facilitate it. You have white supremacy because there is a system that when the individual practices white supremacy, the system falls in line behind it to practice white supremacy with them. You cannot have black supremacy because even if a black individual tried it, there would be no system that will back them up. Without the system, you don't have supremacy. And what Matt is lamenting is, damn, in this case, what happened to the system backing them up? It fell apart. It broke down. It wasn't supposed to do that. Old Jake Lang, boy. Jake Lang. We talking about a fellow who, you want to talk about back-to-back L's. Jake is just basically reduced to white supremacist trolling. This is what you have to. When's the last time he won anything, y'all? Chud the Blunder, Shiloh Hendrix. When's the last W that this guy, Jake Lang, the L in Lang stands for loss. When's the last time he won anything, people? What was his last W? Well, what was the last win that he's had? His only thing he can specialize in is white supremacist trolling online. But in the real world, because as Dave Chappelle said, Twitter is not a real place, all he's got is an ever-growing stack of L's. Oh, man. So Jake Lang is going nuts about it. This guy here just, he can't catch a break either. He can't catch a break either. They are just incensed with it. They just can't help it. They're going nuts about it. It's terrible for them. It's terrible. Oh, he still won't let it go. Dude, let it go. Just quit. Oh, there's your defense attorney. So just let it go. Oh, they're going incensed about it, people. They're going nuts. All of a sudden, the same folk who've never defended the First Amendment or the Second Amendment for black folk are all of a sudden white supremacists are jumping in the fray here. So, yeah, well, I can agree with that. The prison time would come in there. Prison time should come in there. All right. The fighting words exception to the First Amendment needs to be laid to rest once and for all. The jury in the Shiloh Hendrix case was instructed that it could convict her if her words were inherently likely to provoke a violent reaction or incite an immediate breach of the peace. But violence is never a reasonable reaction to offensive words, and you should not be held responsible for someone else's inability to control their anger. Well, folks, they're defending Daniel Penny. They've defended him. They defend every white person who verbally, they defend Chud the Builder. They defend every white person who verbally assaults black people, for something they didn't like what they heard. They've never come to black people's defense, ever. All of a sudden, these individuals, what they don't like is that will be damned. They're actually enforcing the law. Now, by the way, did you hear what she just said here? In the Shiloh Hendrix case, the jury was instructed they could convict her if her words were inherently likely to provoke a violent reaction. Okay, well, that's the courtroom. And as Judge Schrader confirmed in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, the law is whatever I say the law is. Y'all remember that? Judge Schrader said the law isn't what the prosecutor thinks it is. The law isn't what you tell yourself it is. I am the interpreter of the law. The law is what I say it is. Remember, Judge Schrader said that. Now they're on Twitter saying that the law is not what the judge says it is. The law is whatever some nitwit on Twitter says it is. Okay, but when Kyle Rittenhouse was on trial and the judge literally said the law is what I say it is. You all remember I covered that trial. He literally said those words. The law is what I say it is. Oh, all of a sudden they're telling you we shouldn't listen to the judge. The law is white supremacy. So as I told you all, they're going nuts now. Now they want to be legal scholars, but when we show up and our First Amendment and Second Amendment rights have been violated, they never go on a crusade like this for us. They never go on a crusade like this for us. We shouldn't have to say anything. If these people were really concerned about the First Amendment, then they would cover all First Amendment violations. And they're always quiet only when our First Amendment and Second Amendment rights have been violated. That's the only time that they ever go quiet. Only time. This little white supremacist clown right here, I don't know why Twitter keeps sending him to me, but I'm glad they sent him here today. Listen to what he said, because this dovetails off of Matt the Weenie Walsh. I had a wild conversation yesterday with an acquaintance. He's white. Okay, so they're checking to see if all their white brethren are on code. About Shiloh Hendrix. First of all, he didn't know this was happening at all. Oh, I know that had to break your little weenie white supremacist heart. Secondly, he didn't believe me when I told him Shiloh was essentially criminally prosecuted over saying the N-word. That's not what she was prosecuted for. But he eventually said, even if she was, you just can't say that. I was left pretty stunned after that. He essentially admitted that free speech no longer exists and that the government should be able to punish someone with the criminal justice system over a word. You weren't punished over a word. You were punished over harassing somebody in public and breaking the peace, because he personally disliked that someone would say the N-word. I've personally experienced that just saying the words white people is deeply uncomfortable for other white people. Well, let's be clear about this. You all are the ones who want to make whiteness invisible. You spent the last 2 centuries talking about laws for black people, saying black at every term, black at every term. You have never talked about white people's place in anything, so that people have a firm contrast of why you make so many laws against black people, because you are enforcing white supremacy. And so your goal has been, it is outlawed to say the word white, because then you are now framing everything in every discussion in the context of white supremacy. We're making these laws against black folk because white supremacy. So you made it where every discussion avoids and evades even mentioning the white people exist, while you make laws that benefit them across the board and then claim, no, it didn't, because I never said white. We never used the word white. You can't say that this was racist. We never used the word white. Heh, heh, heh. Heh, heh, heh. We never said white. Now you wake up and you've got, what do you know? The programming worked. People are, when you start saying the word white, they get uncomfortable because you taught them that they're supposed to never say the word white. We never talk about being white. Now you want them to rally around white after you told them, hey, we don't do that. Oh, man. I've personally experienced that just saying the words white people is deeply uncomfortable for other white people. The entire room turns ice cold, and everyone looks at the floor like you said something dirty or evil. It's crazy. I think a lot of white Americans have been conditioned to feel that talking about themselves as a group is somehow uniquely inappropriate, while conversations framed around virtually every other racial group are treated differently. Yes, you all have spent 2 centuries targeting black people and saying, oh, well, we're not targeting you because we're not talking about white people. Yeah, this is what happens when white supremacy backfires in your ugly face. This is what happens when practicing white supremacy does that. You started every conversation targeting black people and saying, don't mention being white, so that no one can say that the whites are ganging up on the blacks. Now you want to get white folk together to gang up on somebody. And what do you know? They're following the programming you gave them. Hey, we don't talk about being white as a group, remember? We can't discuss being white as a group. Remember the code, 200 years. We don't talk about being white as a group. We don't do that. Now he's upset. Hey, we got to talk about being white as a group. Hey, we don't do that, remember? You're off code, man. Don't do that. Yeah, what happens when white supremacy backfires in your ugly fat face? Even when they think someone is genuinely unfair, the response often isn't, that shouldn't happen just because she's white. It's more like, yeah, but she kind of deserved it. Damn! This is how white supremacists talk when they commit injustice against black people. Remember, when you're black, They try to make you guilty by association or guilty by spirit. Well, your dad went to prison, so you know you're bad. Well, you were treated unfairly, but you really kind of deserve it. You're spiritually guilty. So here he comes now after enforcing a system that does this. Now he's complaining, even though that's not even what happened here. And this is the norm, and it's not good. It's essentially white people admitting they know the justice system is two-tiered, and although it kind of bothers them, they think because the person is white, the white person somehow, some way, whether by present or past actions, deserve the assault. This, your folks, isn't this what a white supremacist like him said about Tamir Rice, Breonna Taylor, and every other black person? Well, you deserved it because, well, you're black. I'm not sure how we pull people out of this mindset. Stop practicing white supremacy. That's how you fix it. But it will destroy the entire country if we don't. What do? You practice justice. You stop practicing white supremacy and you start practicing justice. That's how you fix literally everything. However, you're dealing with white supremacist trash, and trash does not operate on justice. Trash operates like vermin because that's where vermin are. So he knows the answer to it. He's trying to rally the white supremacist troops. And I'm telling you, when's the last time you saw the white supremacists this damn pathetic? I mean, he's sitting here having a damn Oprah Winfrey moment. I sat and I was talking to a friend of mine about our whiteness and the struggle. And I was talking about the struggle of whiteness, and it's not, he said that he didn't even know and that she shouldn't be doing that. So he's having a damn sit around the campfire kumbaya Oprah Winfrey moment about white supremacy. Can we all get together and discuss our feelings? Yeah, that's how big of an L they took. So I'm telling y'all, I didn't overstate the situation. This is how bad it is. This is just how bad it's gotten for them. They don't know what the hell to do. They don't know what the hell to do. Oh, they're sitting up here trying to talk their way through it like therapy. We're having white supremacist therapy. Sit and discuss your feelings. Guess what? What do we do? What do we do? Yeah, white supremacist emotional support group. Damn! They're trying to form a white supremacist emotional support group online, and it's not going well. It's not going well. It's going bad, y'all. It's going bad. They are big mad at this brother. They are big mad at him. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Ian Miles Chong is... Yeah, boys. Oh, that didn't go very well from a year ago, y'all. Yeah. Oh, boy. That hasn't stopped them from coming to her defense. In case you didn't notice, they need any mascot they can get. They need any mascot they can get, y'all. So, yeah. They need any mascot they can get. By the way, does he look Somali to y'all? Damn! I'm just saying, y'all. Ian's the one posted this, so. Hey, Ian, does she look... I don't know, Ian. She kind of... Y'all just... how scrawny he is, and does he look kind of Somali? Does he look kind of Somali to y'all? She might have known the fella in the park. There might be more of this damn story. All right. Moving right along here. This Braga dude. Now, remember, I told y'all about this Bronca dude before here. He's the white supremacist attorney at large, is what he is here. And yeah, boy, when he saw the L incoming, he couldn't do nothing but brace himself for impact. He saw the L incoming. It was going to be bad. It was going to be bad. So, yeah, they're going nuts. They're going insane over here. Oh, they couldn't help it. They couldn't help it. Oh, they went nuts, y'all. It's just, they were like, you're supposed to be able to practice white supremacy. We thought it was going to be a new day. We watched Nick Fuentes and Donald Trump, and then you see her sit up here and get convicted for it. So it's, yeah, man, it's bad. Now, folks, who in the hell is this? Tell me that this is a parody account. Who is this?
At a park, provoked by the Somalians that are taking over her city. What sense does it make for an invader like that, and also a fucking pedophile, to provoke a white woman, and the white woman gets arrested because she was defending her and her child? Mind you, there were no hands. There were no...
Okay, then she wasn't defending her child then. So, y'all, is this like a parody account or something? Because this chick looking this damn crazy like this, I mean, it's... Oh, she looks completely unhinged. I mean, her face is painted on by the Sherwin-Williams people. What? Oh, so something's going on. Something is real weird. Sometimes people, you can't tell that they're mentally and emotionally imbalanced. But then you can take a look at her and it's like, oh, boy. Oh, man. Yeah, this is not going good at all right here. So she is off her meds or something. So this better be a parody account. Because if it's, you can see the damn wig glue. Damn! Folks, this isn't even going well. You can see the wig glue. She didn't even go to the Dominicans to get this done right. She's sitting at home with the damn Gorilla Glue, sitting up here trying to do this her damn self. It didn't go well. You can see the glue on here. The part ain't no damn good. Oh, she must be missing some teeth on the cone that she was doing the part with, because this part is drunk. This part is zigzagging to the back of her head. So, baby, look here. When bedwenching goes bad. Oh, man, looks like she put J.B. Weld up here. What? And that part is just is wandering. It's like a spinning top. It's just on a mind of its own heading to the back of that head. So, I'm not going to keep going here, but... Oh, and then she didn't do the right colors for the contouring. Baby, you got it wrong. If you're going to contour, the light makeup goes on your nose. You don't put the dark makeup on your nose for the contouring. The dark goes on the edges. The light goes down the middle to, you got your nose doing crazy stuff up here right now. That nose is doing some wild stuff right now. She ain't getting nothing right. The hair is wrong. The glue is wrong. The part is wrong. The contouring is wrong. What the hell is going on with these eyelashes, people? Damn! Oh, man, what bird did she rip these eyelashes off? What bird did she take the eyelashes from? Ma'am, no! Just ease on back. Ease back. Just stop. Oh, this is out of control here. No. So I'm not even going to play any more of her because I'll just make it the whole damn night about critiquing here. This is a mess. This is a damn mess. So this is what happens when your mentally disturbed cousin gets off their meds and then when they just completely fly off of their meds and, oh man, the schizophrenia is kicked in, they pick up a camera. And when Shiloh Hendrix was right and you're invaders. And, oh boy. And then you see him there and whatnot. She's looking like the damn lion from The Wiz. What? Oh, she's looking like the lion from The Wiz. It's just weird, man. Or like she looks like an extra from Broadway's Cats. Everyone knows that play on Broadway, Cats. She looks like she started auditioning for that. She started putting on the makeup for Cats, and then she got distracted when she saw the Shiloh Hendrix verdict, and so she dropped the makeup and went to go run and do a damn video. It's like, hey, baby, you ain't put your damn whiskers on yet. So, man, okay. You all can guess what country is she from? Anyone want to guess what Caribbean or African country she sailed in from? So, yeah, man, it's rough on her. It is rough. Lives of TikTok is beside themselves. So, yeah, they're beside themselves. Oh, they can't help it. More white supremacists here just upset. They had to sit there and watch her take the L. They had to sit there and watch them take the L. This is coping, people. This is coping, and they're trying to comfort themselves. They're trying to comfort themselves, and it's just like, okay, you can't do that. Oh, Matt Walsh, once again, this is back a couple of days ago. He already saw it happening. So, wait a second. We were told that Shiloh Hendrix had berated a child. No, she was disturbing the peace. That was allegedly the reason the Somali guy started filming and hassling her. But the jury acquitted her of disorderly conduct against the child and convicted her of disorderly conduct against the guy with the camera, which means she actually didn't say anything to the kid. That's not what it means. She was being harassed by the guy with the camera for no reason. Now she's been convicted of a crime simply for telling the guy to leave her alone. She didn't say leave her alone. This is total madness. So you got to understand, the white supremacist weenies, this is what they end up being. They're going nuts. When you start lying about the events like this, just understand it's like, yeah, dude, you've already crashed and burned. This is not I'm white and I say so. You don't get to just make things up. It's not I'm white and I say so. You're used to that. When I'm white and I say so fails, as you all can see, they just come undone. They just completely disintegrate and fall apart. Delicious. Delicious. Shiloh Hendrix is what's wrong with America today. She victimizes a little black child, verbally assaults him and his family on a public playground in broad daylight. You get it all on camera, and she still walks away with a $1,000 fine and a stayed 90-day sentence with some community service hours. That's the justice system in 2026 for a blatant race crime against a child. A child that white supremacists lied about him wearing an ankle monitor as if he's some sort of blatant criminal at just the tender age of 7. The monitor the kid was wearing is due to the fact that he suffers from hyperactivity and thus his parents needed a way to locate him in case he got lost. Nothing to do with the ankle monitors worn by criminals. So just like with the father, they keep talking about he was charged with raping a girl. They keep saying charged because he was never convicted. The charges were dropped and dismissed. So the white supremacists are an evil bunch. Understand that. So they keep throwing this up and keep talking about the kid was wearing an ankle monitor as if he was on parole or something. That's a very common thing for severely autistic children. And yet that's not what they went online to characterize it as. So, I mean, they just came unglued. They came undone. It was great to watch them fall to pieces. It's great to watch them fall apart, but they're also a disgusting lot. They really, really are. So they're very upset with the judge. They're mad as hell at her. They are mad as hell at her. Oh, they are angry. They are angry because where's the white supremacist code? This is a problem. This is the problem with America right now. Racism isn't some relic of the past. It's alive, loud, and still getting treated like a minor inconvenience by Matt Walsh, who is committing the crime. A white woman can drop racial slurs at a disabled black child in front of witnesses, raise hundreds of thousands online from people celebrating it, and the court basically shrugs. Soft sentences like this don't deter hate. They embolden it. They tell every racist that as long as you cry free speech and have the right crowd backing you, you can terrorize black kids and face almost nothing real. Until this country starts treating racial hatred against children as the serious crime it is, instead of a slap on the wrist and a go fund yourself windfall changes, nothing changes. Shiloh Hendrix is a symptom of a deeper sickness, a system that still protects the racist more than the victim. Now, for her biggest fans in America, remember this: blacks built your country. How about you jump on a boat and leave for good? Epic commentary. Completely epic commentary. All right here. So, of course, you got folks out here mad as hell. I've loved going through them and watching them sit up here and come unglued. They're trying their best. They're thinking they're talking. The Branca clown is sitting up here again. He's trying to figure out some way to rationalize it.
Of both disorderly conduct charges. She had to sit, even if she'd been acquitted. of both disorderly conduct charges. She had to sit through a 4-day trial. She was at risk of conviction and, of course, ultimately was convicted on one of the charges and given the maximum sentence by the judge immediately after the jury returned the verdict. 11 o'clock last night, she was sentenced to the maximum the judge could give her.
And deal with it.
So what? It was 11 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter if it was 2 in the morning. Carmelo Anthony got strung up over a weekend. Remember? So this clown didn't come talking about, hey, you know what? We don't do things on the weekend, don't we? With Carmelo Anthony, we can. We can for Carmelo Anthony. He didn't see anything abnormal about that. It was 11 o'clock at night. And so he's saying, what about the white privilege? Remember, it's not justice if we bring up black folk and you were not equally as vocal and equally as indignant. You're a bigot if you didn't do the same thing. Now, all of a sudden, he's concerned about what time it was. She shouldn't have tried to fight the charges for a simple misdemeanor. You're guilty as hell. Take the L.
And, of course, ultimately was convicted on one of the charges and given the maximum sentence by the judge immediately after the jury returned the verdict.
Folks, you just saw Diddy get the same damn thing. Black folk get hit with the damn max right out the damn gate. That was illegal what happened to Diddy. Nobody does that kind of garbage except you had some crazy ass judge, most likely Indian judge practicing white supremacy, didn't like the fact that when they finally had a black male in there, if the jury won't punish you, I'll practice white supremacy if the jury won't get you. Diddy's in jail for prostitutes. For sleeping with prostitutes, that which is legal in New York, remember? And so that happened to Diddy and all of that was fine. He's saying, like about the niggers. As soon as it happens to a white woman, oh, they sentenced her immediately. And they do that to black folk. Hey, remember, y'all, Carmelo Anthony, remember that's what happened to him, remember? What? Once again, folks, hey, where was Branka the bigot? Carmelo Anthony, remember that happened to him. He got found guilty and then was immediately sentenced. Remember? Here, hold this 30 years. So remember, they did that to him. Oh, it can be the weekend. They went straight to it, remember? So for Carmelo Anthony, he never was talking about, well, this is highly unusual. You're doing this on the weekends. He was convicted and then immediately sentenced. He didn't say any of this then. It happens to a white woman and all of a sudden, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today for this gross injustice committed against our lily white womanhood. Okay, so it was fine for Carmelo Anthony, but all of a sudden you done found a microphone for this chick who was caught on camera committing the crime. But for Carmelo Anthony, he could be convicted convicted and sentenced immediately, and what for a murder charge. And, oh, well, welcome to Texas.
Convicted on one of the charges and given the maximum sentence by the judge immediately after the jury returned the verdict. 11 o'clock last night, she was sentenced to the maximum the judge could give her for that disorderly conduct offense. No mitigating factors at all. No mitigating factors at all. And they use the process itself as the...
Okay, first of all, this guy right here, it's just what all I can say is if you get him white supremacists, if this is the best you can do, you just need a system that lies because you don't have anybody competent. Shiloh Hendrix was completely unrepentant. Shiloh Hendrix said from the beginning that she was not sorry. Remember that. You all know that about a court case. There's no reason for the judge to take anything easy on you because Shiloh Hendrix was unrepentant. She was defiant to the very end. She said from the very beginning that she was not sorry, and a year later she was still not sorry. You all have watched enough court cases to know that in sentencing, one of the things they consider is, are you repentant? Are you sorry for what you did? She said she is caught on video, never expressed regret, never expressed sorrow, never expressed remorse. You attacked a child and she never expressed any remorse for that. So you're unrepentant? Oh no, they throw the damn book at you. That's how you get the max thrown at you. She had every opportunity to plea bargain. She refused. She had every opportunity to express remorse. She was not sorry for practicing white supremacy. She just wanted them to let her practice white supremacy and give her a pass. So once again, when you got the goofball attorney sitting up here and whatnot, you can listen to this garbage. You'll just be the most stupid, uninformed person in the room.
Punishment. They did it to George Zimmerman. They do it to Kyle Rittenhouse. They do it to a lot of officers involved in use of force events. They did it to the McMichaels. And sometimes they secure an unjust conviction, like with the McMichaels, like with Derek Chauvin. And sometimes they don't secure the conviction, like with the Michael Brown hands up, don't shoot.
So you know this, all the white folk who harm black people, he's rah-rah. You should get disbarred for that because you're so blatantly racist. All the white folk who harm black folk is rah-rah. Everything's great and wonderful there. Everyone down the line, if you're black and whatever, you don't have a right to live.
With the lawful shooting of Trayvon Martin, with the Rittenhouse case, but nevertheless.
If I were following his daughter down the street and I had a gun, would he say, I want him to defend my right to follow his daughter down the street while I have a gun with me? To anybody who wants to pretend that, your daughter is walking home from the store with a bag of Skittles. I want you to defend my right to follow your daughter for 2 blocks while I have a gun. I want you to defend my right to do that. That part right there, no, there's no problem with you following my daughter down the street, stalking her with a gun. Remember, white supremacists are vicious, evil animals. Remember that. They are unrepentant because their goal is to change the world to a place where black people are murdered, killed, and harmed with absolute impunity. That is the goal that they're attempting to work toward. And the problem they have is that we're stopping them.
Those people are tortured by the process. And the whole time they're being tortured, they have no idea if they'll be convicted. I covered every minute of the Zimmerman trial, the Rittenhouse trial. I knew on the legal merits they ought not be convicted. But juries are dangerous and unpredictable creatures, especially when they're manipulated like the Shiloh Hendrix jury was manipulated. Imagine keeping a jury impaneled and deliberating for 9 hours on a misdemeanor charge. It's absolutely insane.
Imagine fighting a misdemeanor charge for 4 days. So once again, folks, I mean, you can get on X with a screwball attorney, but imagine fighting a misdemeanor charge for being allowed 4 days. Think about that for a moment. Your white privileges, you were allowed 4 days to fight a misdemeanor charge. And then you are upset that the judge didn't play with your goofy ass and just said, we already know what you're going to sentence you to. So let me go ahead and throw this at you. Imagine that.
For a 4-day trial. And then to the point where the jury acquits on the more sympathetic disorderly conduct charge, the N-word against the child, and convicts on the less sympathetic disorderly conduct charge, the N-word against the Somalian videographer, who can't even testify because he's fled to Africa.
Okay, that's irrelevant. We don't have to have him there for that. Remember, the state picks up the charges with Michael Jackson. Remember, they changed the law in California so that the white kids who were accusing Michael Jackson didn't have to testify. The state will pick up the charges. So you see, my white supremacist, goofball, stupid wannabe attorney here, you all made that legal. You're the ones who allowed for that. Now you're upset and crying in your damn beer because the rules that you made didn't work out in the favor of white supremacy. So you're the ones who said that the state can pick up the charges. What a group of jackasses. The only thing that ever helps you is if you can lie your way through things. If that's all you can count on, buddy, white supremacy is already done for. You can just make yourselves look like asses on the way out.
The jury never heard from him. And sometimes these things are necessary because they're an inflection point. I thought this one was interesting. Shiloh of Troy. Will this be an inflection point?
folks. Folks. An inflection point for whom? A dirty white supremacist female screaming racial slurs at a child. This is the best hero that the white supremacists can come up with, people. This is the best. Then you wonder why it is that white supremacist culture is in free fall. This is the best hero, the best inspiration that they can come up with. Hey, listen to us and you can inspire to be a vicious white supremacist who goes around yelling racial slurs at children. You can be a great person. Really great people go around yelling racial slurs at little kids. Great people go around with guns and chase down little children. That's what it means to be a white supremacist. These are their heroes. This is the best they can do. And it all falls apart after that. It has been rather delicious to watch them fall into pieces as they've taken the L. Talking about an appeal. Folks, do you know how long a damn appeal takes? She's only got 90 days. Do you think she's going to get to sit up here and avoid none of this? Nope, she got to take care of all this right now. She got to take care of all of this right now. So they'll spend the next year or two appealing this. Okay, but she got to have all this wrapped up in the next 90 days. So I don't know what spiritual victory you think you're going for, but yeah, y'all, the white supremacists are falling apart. And remember, if you want to know why it is they're fighting so hard over this, it's because right now, remember, for them, every loss sets them way back. They're going to fight over everything because, as far as they're concerned, even losing a couple of centimeters of progress counts as a terrible loss. That's the issue that they have. So they don't want to lose any ground whatsoever. No ground whatsoever can afford to be lost. None. That's the issue that they're having, is that, boys, we need to be able to step in here and make everything needs to be moving forward. We can't afford to lose anything. We can't give up a centimeter of ground. So when you have situations like this happen, remember, you all understand, this sends a signal to white supremacists everywhere that it's no longer safe to practice blatant white supremacy anymore. That's what they're afraid of. So you are right, Branka the bigot. You are quite correct. This is an inflection point. This is the inflection point that officially codifies it is no longer safe for you to practice blatant white supremacy. So yes, this is an inflection point, just not the one you were hoping for. Everyone got the message here. No one's coming out of this more emboldened. They're all coming out of this scared as hell. Chud the Blunder, this chick, back-to-back L's of the worst kind, directly targeting white supremacy. So inflection point, yeah, just not the one you wanted. It's the opposite. Oh man, what a weekend to wake up to. Sometimes you get out there and you're just straight catching hell. What is a white supremacist to do? What is a white supremacist to do when he's been sitting around expecting everybody to have his back? Everybody's supposed to have his back at this point. Oh, it ain't working. It is not working out for him, y'all. Now they got the whole weekend to sit up here and cry and moan about it like that's going to change a damn thing. Like that's going to change a damn thing. This is what happens here when you don't have a system to hold you together anymore. And the best you can do is say, hey, everyone, our mascot, our hero, join the few, the proud, the brave who go around victimizing little children. And you want to wonder why Jeffrey Epstein is a firm part of their culture? You wonder why Jeffrey Epstein is a firm part of their culture? They have a culture of targeting little children. I mean, that's the white supremacist American way. It's targeting little kids. That's what they do. And then you got others some who defend it for some reasons and others who defend it for other reasons. But both sides of the fence end up defending it. However, you might disagree. Therefore, let's go ahead and post the Zoom link in the chat room for you here. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and post the Zoom link here in the chat room for you, and we'll go ahead and pin that. You are more than welcome to check in with us here. Piano and guitar lover needs to give us a call on Zoom. So piano and guitar lover needs to be up on Zoom. You got 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes to defend them. Just remember, if you run like the other white supremacists, just remember, we're winning when you run.
And deal with it.
We're winning when you run. So when you have the opportunity to come front and center and defend it, just remember, when you're called out and you run, we win when you run. In the meantime, I want to thank everyone who has contributed to tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Shout out to Nancy King. Thank you very much for your support tonight, Nancy. We appreciate that. To my man, Mr. Richburg. As always, thank you very much for your support tonight, brother. To Mark B, thank you very much for there as well. Folks are in the house. We appreciate that. To Najee, KG Beyond, Josiah Star, Arthur Kelly, Mahako, Fear to None, Pookie, Ray, Tom Slick, Logic Before Emotion, giving out some memberships. Roz the Explorer giving out some memberships here as well. The gift that keeps on giving. We appreciate that. The Jughead. We're going to take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break, brothers and sisters. When we come back, we will take your phone calls and more. Got a few other things I want to touch on here as well. I know we're coming in hot, just like a fajita. Stick around. This is the Black Channel.
Be the teacher, knowledge on the block. Got the kids learning, minds open like a lock. Books and skills from the east to the west. Bringing education, yeah, we're simply the best. Classes on fire, brains burning with desire. Innovation driving like a tire through the mire. Math, science, history, we got the whole range. Kids hitting new heights, teachers making a change. Used to be the teacher, stacking up the grades. Future bright shining, no need for no shades. Got the youth thriving, moving up the ladder. Smart and sharp, brains growing fatter. Lessons so lit, yeah, they stay in a blaze. Every mind sharp like a sword in the haze. Mr. B in the house breaking knowledge chains. Education kingpin, we repping the gains. Used to be the teacher.
Order yours today to experience all the benefits of Ash Kickin' Body Butter. With skin so smooth and soft, you'll thank us for it. Shop Ash Kickin' online. That's ASHKICKIN.com.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
This is the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Very glad to be with you all here this evening as we are discussing the guilty verdict against Shiloh, the bigot Hendrix, convicted for disorderly conduct. The white supremacists of all shapes and stripes and a bunch of liberals joining them there are very, very upset because they've all gone lockstep in arms against us. But it has been delicious to watch them genuflect. Look it up. It has been delicious to watch them sit up here and go insane with rage. It has been incredible to watch them doing that. They're flailing their limbs. They're trying their best to make this damn thing work. They're trying to comfort and console each other. It's kind of hard to do that. Kind of hard to do that because they now have to accept that this is the standard. You go around yelling nigger at people there, and they're letting you know that, by the way, those are fighting words because those are threats leveled by white supremacist individuals. Now that the courts have clearly let you know that, oh, this is the law now. You see, you don't have black folk running around doing that. Let's be clear. Black folk never run around calling white folk a bunch of names. You go to NBA games, NFL games, there are no black folk in the stands hurling racial slurs at Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady. You never see black folk doing that with Larry Bird or Luka Doncic. Nobody black does that. However, in white cities, the real thing is but that's what makes whiteness great, is throwing slurs and victimizing people. And so that's, to them, that's greatness. I didn't say American greatness. I said for them, period. That's their definition of greatness for them. That's what they aspire to. Oh, it's going to be a rough time for them here. Very, very rough time for them. Let's go ahead and jump over here on Zoom. I got Gene on Zoom for me. Here's Gene. What's on your mind?
How dare you, brother, cook up something so delicious as these white tears and don't offer us dessert?
Oh, man, I got the pot boiling. I got the gumbo boiling.
I just had to say that, brother.
I got the gumbo boiling. Troll tears, white supremacist tears. I'm just cooking up a big old pot. I'm just cooking up a big old pot for them here today. That's it. You know what's down here in Louisiana. Red pepper, cayenne, double seasoning. Let me throw a little onion in here. We doing everything. I'm cooking up some white supremacist gumbo tonight.
Just make sure you don't allow them to bring the casserole.
No damn casserole, gluten-free potato salad, no, we ain't doing none of that. No, gluten-free pasta, no, none of the tofu, your mama's super secret cow dip, no, we ain't taking that neither. Nothing. This is not a potluck.
I'm just going to close by saying this. I'm going to use your saying, this is good, family. Be one, brother.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Yeah, they can sit back there and enjoy that for the weekend. No, we ain't having it. No, we're not having it. We are not. Your mayonnaise casserole. What? No, yeah, we ain't bringing that. The dry ass cornbread, you can't do that neither. Your rare and medium rare beef.
Nigga, what?
No. Just cook it till the cow stops mooing. No. We're not doing that neither. Everything over here is well seasoned, well done, and well prepared. So let me throw them in a big ass pot like gumbo, as Ice Cube used to say. Cook them and throw them in a pot like gumbo. Yes, it's on the weekend, boy. They hate that. It's just ruined their whole damn week. It's ruined their whole damn week. Boy, that's a hell of a case right there, man. That's a hell of a thing. That's a hell of a thing for them to have to look up and see that, man. And white supremacy is supposed to be firm at this point, man. It was supposed to be firmly entrenched. Supposed to be firmly entrenched. It's supposed to be a given. This is supposed to be a cakewalk, people. This was supposed to usher in a new era of blatant white supremacy. I have to remind you all again of the 5 steps to Nazi Germany. Remember what I've always taught you. The 5 steps to Nazi Germany have never been disproven because they cannot be disproven. They are empirical facts. Step number 1, they speak against you in their homes. They start teaching and indoctrinating each other with the code and the culture and the religion of white supremacy. As Brother Neely Fuller taught us, it could not be so uniform everywhere it goes if everyone was not being taught the same thing. So you see, the indoctrination begins in the home of teaching the religion passed down from one generation to another, the religion of white supremacy and how to practice it. We don't talk about slavery. You whitewash it from the books. You whitewash it from public discourse. We don't talk about the slaves. We don't talk about white supremacy. We do not discuss that. We understand it, but we don't discuss it. You never talk about it openly because openly discussing it invites openly deconstructing it. Did you all get that? Document that. Why can't they discuss it openly, Jason? Because open discussion invites deconstruction. If you never discuss it, then you are hopefully holding off the ability to deconstruct it. If you openly discuss it, you're inviting deconstruction because, first of all, you've admitted that it exists. As long as you never admit that it exists, it makes it harder to pin down. Now that they're admitting that it exists, oh boy, they're actually accelerating it. Step number 1, discuss it in the homes. Step number 2 is to talk about it now. It leaks outside of the home like a disease, like black sewage leaking out from their doors. So first you discuss it in the home, and second you discuss it on the streets among everybody else. Now it's broken containment. Third, now the media gets involved. Oh man, the media gets involved. Now you have a national conversation. The national conversation is now being facilitated to discuss white supremacy and the merits of it and how they will victimize you. Now everyone gets on code nationally. Of course, with them doing as Lee Atwater taught them and telling them the words you don't say. So they're discussing white supremacy without ever just saying the word white because they've already established in the home that this is white supremacy, so we don't have to say the word white anymore. After the media comes to speak against you, next come the politicians, not just speaking against you, but making laws and public policy against you. The white supremacist politicians now begin the job of making public policy against you. So that's the important part. In the chat room, Jay Mastermind needs to give me a call. So what they do there is they have the politicians make the public policy against you. And then lastly, because remember the policy is for a goal, and the goal is so that they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want. So the goal is to ultimately create a white supremacist society where they have the freedom to grab your sons, grab your daughters, treat you however they want to with no limits. They can be as, quote, kind or as vicious as they wish to be. There are no rules or limitations based on how they treat you. There will only be rules or limitations based on how you treat them. But there will be no rules and no limitations on how they treat, or more specifically, mistreat you. So in other words, open barbarism in the streets. That they have been deputized, and it is the code that they can now practice open barbarism against you at will in the street. Every member of white society is now deputized to practice open barbarism against you at will in the streets. So when we talk about the 5 steps to Nazi Germany, what you're seeing right here is their attempt to codify and solidify that 5th step. They've already gotten the other 4, but they really want that last one. And this is where the Chud the Builders and George Zimmerman and the rest of them come in, is being able to firmly establish that last point. That last step. That a white woman can walk up to black children, black men, like Carolyn Bryant did, and practice white supremacy. That you cannot go to a park or any place by yourself. You can't go there and enjoy your life and liberty. That she has the right to come in and limit it or stop it right in front of you. You see, these are the old slave codes. Who are you niggas sitting over here laughing and smiling? No, you're not allowed to laugh or smile unless I approve of it. So you see, your rights, your simple ability to enjoy your life, why, that is held to the mercy of any random white person who comes by. If they decide that you should be left alone, well, then you're left alone by them. But if another person comes by and decides that, yeah, you all are too happy over there, well, that white person is deputized to come over and practice white supremacy against you. Why, you're being too jolly. You're being, who told you all that you could be proud over here? Who told you all that you could smile over here? I've decided that you all are a bit too jolly over here. I've decided that that's not permissible. Well, what crime have I committed? The crime of pissing me off. Remember in Alabama, just black folks just being there. And the white supremacists couldn't stand the black folk just being there. They couldn't just leave you alone. You see that kind of stuff all the time. You see it all the time. So just understand exactly what it is that's motivating them. They are trying to solidify that 5th step to white supremacy, and so far they've run into major headwinds. It ain't cracking off like they needed to. Now they're suffering setbacks. Next thing you know, you're going to fall from that 5th step. You never got that one, so you only got to the 4th step. Next thing you know, you're going to fall from the 4th step back to the 2nd. Public policy turns against you as white supremacists, and then the media turns against you as white supremacists. And next thing you know, you're back to having to just talk it over with each other on the streets, but you can't really gain any traction beyond that. That's what they're really scared of. They're really terrified of that. So I want you to be very clear with yourselves of exactly what it is. Exactly what it is that they're fighting for and exactly what it is that they're demanding. Why is this so important to them to call you nigger, nigger, nigger? Because that is solidifying the 5th step of white supremacy. They want that one. Because first, what you all have seen with Chud the Builder is a preview of what the 5th step looks like. If you want to know what is so dangerous about the 5th step and why it is that the white supremacists, the Matt Walshes and the rest, why the white supremacists want that step so badly, take a look at Chud the Builder. That is what the 5th step of white supremacy looks like. Random white people running up on you with guns, threatening you, intimidating you, threatening your life and your well-being. Just any random piece of trash that comes floating through. That is what they ultimately want. Now I'm going to take it to the next logical step. Please understand, if you do not have the freedom and the ability to stop them from taking your life, you damn sure don't have the freedom or ability to stop them from raping you or your children or your woman. Just understand that's where it goes. When we talk about this barbarism thing, if you think it stops at just quote unquote violence against the men, oh no, this is about complete domination. And white supremacy has never gone anywhere where sexual domination was not part and parcel and quintessential and key to everything that they did. Sexual domination is fundamental. The biggest white supremacists you've met and seen, that is obligatory for them. Case in point, Elon the Muskrat Musk. Evil Elon, he was recently interviewed. And boy, listen to what he said here.
People say that you're a racist. What is the motivation for doing that? Are you fomenting?
Okay, first of all, it's not that people say he's a racist. His company has had lawsuits against them. They've had to pay out money. He's gotten online and says he's not. We're not saying he's a racist. That's like saying people say the sky is blue. No, the sky is blue. So no, this is not a people say you're a racist. He's a racist.
People say that you're a racist. What is the motivation for doing that? Are you fomenting?
My partner is she's half Indian, and and I have 4 children with her. One of them was named after a famous Indian physicist. So I would say I'm not racist.
Yeah, folks. You heard that right. Elon, the MAGA maggot Musk, just sat up here and gave the Strom Thurmond defense. Although Strom Thurmond did not have as a defense. Y'all literally heard him say, well, I'm with one of my baby mamas is half Indian. Indian is not a race. Okay. By the way, for all the white supremacists out there that think that Elon is on your side, yeah, no wonder he loves the H-1B thing and he's sleeping with it. So white supremacists are just stupid. But anyway, one of his baby mamas is half Indian. So she's not racist because I'm sleeping with a half Indian chick. This is the best he could do. He's had years to prepare for this answer, people, years. And this is the best he could come up with. Well, I got a half Indian chick, and that means what? That means what?
And also, if you look at the people that are employed at my companies, we have senior executives of all races. I don't think there's any racism there.
Are you anti? People say.
The problem is when you get white reporters like this to interview these folks, there's a reason why they only talk to them because, white reporters will sit up here and throw these softball questions. They don't shoot this stuff down. I don't think she really researched this very well. Elon had to sit there and make a fool of himself is what he had to do. So, and of course, he would never talk to us over here, which is perfectly understandable. My job is just to point out to you all the white supremacy is going. But yeah, folks, this is the best he could come up with. And for the white supremacists out there, you all should take this as a warning because Elon is letting you know. Y'all are sitting up here helping him become the richest man in the world. And meanwhile, he's procreating with the Indians. Now, yes, of course, remember, Indian's not a race. And so in this case right here, you're dealing with something different. When he's saying Indian, he's trying to make you think he's with some dark-skinned Indian or something. No, it's never like that. It's like J.D. Vance. These are white Indians. It's like J.D. Vance. These are white Indians. These are not, these are not some dark-skinned Indians. This is the same old thing right there. That's why you need folk to shut that garbage down. If you didn't do your research into them there, then you don't understand what the hell you're really dealing with. So that's the issue that you have. And it shouldn't be lost on you that J.D. Vance is the same way, by the way. That shouldn't be lost on you. That shouldn't be lost on you that J.D. Vance is the same way. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Let me go ahead. As a matter of fact, I'll get that up for you here. Let me go ahead and get that for you here. In case you all were wondering exactly who it is. I'm getting too many damn pop-ups here. That is really, really a problem here. Let me get the damn pop-ups out the way. So, yeah, he was talking about, what's her name, Siobhan Zillis. In case you were wondering, this chick looked like Katie Holmes. Talking about he's with an Indian chick. What part of her is Indian? She looks like Katie Holmes. Now, more importantly, here's the important part. Everybody here, do you notice something? Because here's the important part for the Afrikaners continuing their ethnic cleansing campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at her hair color and take a look at Elon's. Now take a look at the children's hair color.
Damn!
You want to know if the white supremacists have planned this all out? Take a look at Mama's hair color, take a look at Elon's hair color, and then take a look at the children's hair color. And you tell me if a white supremacist eugenicist is pleased with the results of what he sees here. Y'all take a look at those kids and you tell me whether or not you think he's going to be dissatisfied or displeased with the results. This is the game he's playing. This is the game he's playing. So just in case anybody was wondering of exactly what it was he was doing and how this was going and how it was turning out, he knows what he's doing. It's nothing but white women. They can be white women from Europe. They can be white women from South America. They can be white women from India. Elon doesn't have a problem with that. He doesn't have a problem with that. Yes, sir. So when he tells you about that, just understand this is the half Indian female that he was referring to. This is the half Indian female that he was referring to. She looks like Katie Holmes. I mean, she doesn't even look Indian. She looks like Katie Holmes. That's the game that they're playing here, man. They're playing that game. They're playing that game. That's where they're going with it. I don't want to hear nothing else you got to say. We're doing this right here. Go ahead and line them up so we can go ahead and do that with you. Oh, man. I'm not racist. Take a look at my girlfriend. Yes, sir, we did. As a matter of fact, we did. We did take a look at her. Yes, we did. He doesn't want to start that conversation. He really, really doesn't. Y'all think he's stupid or dumb or silly? It's like, oh, no. No. As long as she's down with the program, he knows what he's doing. As long as he's down with the program. Not done yet. Here's another picture of her from People magazine. This is another picture of her. You all tell me, where's the Indian part? And by the way, take a look at these kids. Okay, they look like Elon to me. Half Indian. He chose somebody that he felt his genes could overpower. White supremacy is in a race war. He grabbed somebody that he felt his genes could overpower. That's what he did. So they are in a race war. They are in a race war here, folks. So, yeah, he goes and grabs a chick who, I mean, she could pass for any white woman in Hollywood because, I mean, she's white. She's white. However, the white supremacists are kind of dumb and whatnot because it's like, hey, he's real sympathetic to Indians. So, yeah, old girl been laying up with him long enough. Now he's like, hey, bring on the H-1Bs. Bring on the H-1B visas. As long as he keeps talking that white supremacist garbage, they'll be advocating for holding the door open for him. He becomes a trillionaire. He makes her people rich, and the rest of y'all are sitting out here eating donuts and eating walnuts without breaking open the shell. Because in addition to everything else, Elon's like, if you can't build up what I'm doing, you're useless. If you can't reinforce what I'm doing, you're useless. So she's got herself in line. She's got her parachute. She's got her cut of that billions of dollars. Yeah, the white women are having a fight with him over that. He just wants you all to know here that in case you're wondering, he's not racist like that. Why, I got a kid with a half Indian chick, and this is comedy. It's not even funny. This is comedy, and it's not even funny. Other times you try and it becomes funny, but this isn't even funny when you do that. This is the best you're able to come up with. And then you wonder why y'all are taking L's like this. This is the best you could do. Elon understands the walls are closing in. He understands that the time is running out for that. So they're going to grab everything they can while they can still grab it, while it can still be grabbed. I hope you all understand that that's his plan. Grab everything you can, everything that's not bolted down while you still can do it. You want to know about the De Beers family and the diamond trade and the Kimberley exchange now that China has basically commoditized lab-grown diamonds and whatnot. Diamonds were never precious. They were never precious. They were just restricted. Take a look at what's happening now. When you have to go off and sell the company, the writing's on the damn wall. They understand what the hell they're up against here. Everybody who used to have their fortunes and stuff, man, they're trying to cash out everything they can get, grab everything that they can, run up the value as fast as you can, and then go ahead and cash that out. Run up the value as high as you can and go ahead and cash it out and grab the winnings and run while you still can. This is where they're at today. And so Elon's getting over on a whole bunch of them and looking stupid as hell, but he's getting over on a whole bunch of them. He talks this damn white supremacist nativist stuff, and then you take a look at where he's sleeping up with and the kind of stuff he's saying, and that's not really a flex. That's not a flex. I thought Elon was supposed to keep it real, because please understand, folks, you're Indian right up until they decide that they can use that against you. You're Indian right up until they decide they can use it against you. Ain't that right, J.D. Vance? Your wife is okay being Indian. They're okay with her being Indian right up until they can use it against her. And then when they want to disqualify her from having a seat at the table, they bring up, by the way, she's Indian. So that half Indian gets you all the way disqualified. It becomes that. You're half Indian, but you're 100% disqualified when they want to pull that out and yank you out the race. Then it becomes that. So Elon is actually, kind of thumbing them in the face with that. That's not so great. That is not so great. That is not so great. No in the chat room, no. Okay. For those of you who, we covered this last week. You in the chat room, you must not have been listening last week. Folks, all I can do is give you the information and show it to you here. If you're not going to pick it up and retain it, it doesn't help. We covered this last week. The white race, no one's really defined it, but the best that they can do is say the Anglo-Saxons. That the Anglo-Saxons are the true whites, and from there they've tried to disqualify everybody else. That these people are less than white. So if you are not a descendant of the Angles or the Saxons, then you are not the true white people. And what we showed you last week is no less of an authority than Benjamin Franklin. As I had to show you all information that nobody talks about, no less than Benjamin Franklin clearly said that even the Germans, with the exception of the Saxons, the Germans are not white people. Benjamin Franklin, we covered this last week. I showed the stuff. If you didn't watch last week, you need to go back and watch it again. We covered that. So no, this idea of Aryan is a new concocted category. For those of you who did not know, if you talk about Aryan is a concocted category. There are no Aryan people. Aryan is an ethnic concept that was created. That is not something that is real in history. That's just something that was created. The Angles and the Saxons were actual people, or actual tribes at least. Not the, quote, Aryans. So when you see people trying to put that peg on them, that ain't something that happens. That's not a real thing. This Aryan is a concept that was created to codify white supremacy. However, it's so amorphous, and what it did was offend a lot of folks because you're bringing in other people trying to whiticize them to get your numbers up. So then they started drafting in other people. So to see Germany, which remember learned white supremacy from North America, not the other way around. Germany, which learned white supremacy from North America, apartheid from North America, eugenics from North America, and then adopted it in Germany. They took many concepts, including that Aryan thing. Never mind the fact that obviously Hitler and the boys were unaware of what Benjamin Franklin said about the Germans. That you are not the master white race. So white supremacy is this schizophrenic, conflicting concave of idiots and morons making up excuses to try to peg themselves as superior. Can't you just go ahead and build automobiles and jet engines and just be all right? Can't you just do that? All right, go ahead and make the Volkswagen and the Bugatti. That's great. Okay, can't you just do that and be okay with that? That's not enough. You're not proud of yourself. Yeah, it's like, yeah, but y'all niggas still better than me. Huh? You can't just make your jet engines and be cool? That's not enough for you? Okay. Talk about this inferiority complex. So when you start talking about the white Indians, when you start talking about the Italians, the Greeks, the Scots, the Irish, these lesser than white people from either Asia or Southern Europe. When you talk about the so-called white peoples from either Asia or Southern Europe, so don't you understand all the folk that Benjamin Franklin mentioned? The Russians? Where is Russia? Damn! For those of you who think that we're just making this up as we go along, or maybe that Benjamin Franklin was wrong. No, folks, where is Russia, in case you didn't notice? Where is Russia? Geographically, where is that place? Oh, I'll be damned. It's the biggest thing in Asia. Oh, well, those Russian people, and remember, among the Russians, you have a number of folk who are a bunch of Muslims. Oh boy, so yeah, you got Arabs mixed in there. So you got a bunch of them who are tribal Arabs. Oh, that's who you are. Oh, well, you're not really white. You can talk about the Hyksos all you want to. You're not really white. You're some kind of weird white offshoot, but you're less than white. You are a corrupted white offshoot. That's the point. So what they've done is basically say Britain, Northern Europe, Anglo-Saxons, everybody else don't qualify. That's what they're saying. If you're not from the Angles or the Saxons, you're not the real whites. So now that basically kicks out everybody. They've added the Spanish to that. So yeah, I mean, they've when white supremacy became prosperous, first thing they started doing was kicking folk off the island. Once they got where they were trying to go, it's like, okay, it's time to start voting people off the island. And so that's what they did. So no, technically you Indians are white people, but yeah, we ain't opening the damn books. We ain't opening the books. We're not doing that. So when it's not convenient to claim you as white, they're not going to do that. However, I am going to tell you all that they will claim them as white. They will. If white women continue being a problem, the fallback position is to grab some Asian females. Asian from the former Soviet bloc countries, Asian from India, Asia from China. That's the fallback position right now. If white women in America, white women in the so-called West, okay, if they're not going to get with the program, then what they're prepping you for is the social acceptance of adding Indian females into whiteness, or at least being socially acceptable as mates for white men. They will make the genetic argument that white male genes are not dominated by white Indian genes, which is what Elon's trying to do now. And so that becomes acceptable. And then next thing you know, you have a bunch of Nick Fuentes's who identify with Anglo-Saxons, even though they are not Anglo-Saxons. Ain't that right, Elon? So you'll have individuals identifying with the Angles and the Saxons while not actually being Angles or Saxons. Ain't that right, Stephen Miller and the Jewish white supremacists, Ben Shapiro and others. So, folks, that's what it is. You see, there's a reason why they don't want to have this conversation, because when you bring in folk like us who actually know the truth about it, they don't want you to say that sentence. That, hey, by the way, if you're not an Anglo or descendant of Angles or Saxons, you're not white people. So said Benjamin Franklin. Now, tell me, what is your argument against Benjamin Franklin? Tell me, what is the argument that Bill the Bigot O'Reilly or Megyn Kelly could make against Benjamin Franklin? That, hey, I'm not arguing with you. Ben Franklin says you're not white. Ben Franklin said that. The Irish, the Italians, the Russians, the Asians, certainly the Africans. You all are not white. He excluded everyone except the Angles and the Saxons. And that includes the so-called Italians, the so-called Irish, the so-called Scots. Yeah, all of y'all getting your asses kicked off the island all at once. Now, don't you understand? If you're sitting on a panel with somebody, you done shut the whole damn thing down right there. There is no counter argument to that. There's no way they can call themselves more of an authority on that than Benjamin Franklin. The folks who came over here and barbarously took the land, he's saying, by the way, you're not really white. Now, how are you going to argue with Ben Franklin? Tell me what your argument is going to be that Ben Franklin's wrong. You really are. Ben Franklin was wrong and you really are white. So no, that's where you end up being. You end up being there. And so right now you're seeing them prep the ground for it. It's off to a rocky start because you keep having other less than whites like Nick Fuentes come along and start shouting you down. So there's where the problem comes in. Because remember, at the end of the day, they're going to start giving purity tests. At the end of the day, they're going to start giving litmus tests. Here's the problem. White women don't operate on litmus tests. White women operate on resources and status.
And deal with it.
There's the problem. The problem is white women got bills to pay and they got a certain life they're trying to live. And if you are a white man who cannot perform or provide or give her the goodies, that if there's another man who can give her better goodies, she running with him. So if whiteness doesn't work out for you properly, she's going to go look for somebody that things are working out for. Even if he's not white, he's going to give her the bigger, better deal. So you see, you can't get them to put whiteness ahead of that if it doesn't also come with socioeconomic privileges. You can't do that if it doesn't come with socioeconomic privileges. Okay, in the chat room, we got some new folk here tonight. All right, I'll try to have some patience. So all you're doing is asking about Spaniards and classifying Hispanics. You're talking about Spaniards. All you're talking about there is Spaniards, people from Spain. They identify as white. In Florida, they identify as white. The Cubans, the Puerto Ricans, the Dominicans. In Florida, they do not identify as, quote, Hispanic. When you ask them what they are, they tell you, I am white. I've been teaching you all this now for 2 decades. So for some of the latecomers who are new around here, you're just now finding this out. They've always identified as white. It's you who came up with, latched on to some term like Hispanic. They never called themselves Hispanic. They have always identified as white. That they are Spaniards. That's where it comes from. So, no, they're letting you know their identification. And thus, they've always identified that way. And they still do today. It hasn't changed. If they get arrested today, they are white. They classify as white. So for those of you who are not up to speed on it, that's what it is. They've always done that. This is not new. And they were accepted as white people up until it became socioeconomically disadvantageous to do so. Right up until then. But up until that point, for case in point, folks, white folk used to, I'm talking about the Anglos. Anglos used to go back and forth up and down to Mexico before you made it where you had to have a passport to get out because they're locking the country down into a prison state. But they made it where you had to, white folk went down to Mexico like they were going from Texas to Arkansas. There was nothing special about that. Going down to Mexico was just like going to any other state. No changes. That's the point I want you to understand. So for those of you, I mean, I know we got younger folk here and stuff. For those of you who your people never taught you about this, you need to go and check into that. For the millennials and Gen Z, if no one ever told you this, they, at the beginning of the 20th century, for those of us in our lifetime, they were white. Go watch the movie Scarface with Al Pacino. That was never something that they fought over. Go watch the movie Scarface. This is new. This thing lately where they're trying to disinherit the Latinos, that's new. Back in the 70s and 80s, because they got kicked out in the 1970 census, but that was never an issue back then. It's only in this alt-right era where they're scrambling for resources to try to shore up white supremacy. Now, all of a sudden, they're trying to otherize the Latinos. But you go watch the movie Scarface, that was never an issue. And I'm talking about with their accents and everything else. That was never an issue. I got to remind y'all, there was a hit song back in the 50s, Marty Robinson, El Paso. 1959, out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl. The singer Christopher Cross, Ride Like the Wind, I got such a long way to go to make it to the border of Mexico. They've had songs like that for decades. Why do they keep talking about Mexico so much? Because they are accepted and recognized as Mexicans? Don't be stupid. They can't be going to Mexico to be identified as Mexicans. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, then why are they so comfortable talking about Mexico and speak about Mexico so affectionately? Because in Mexico, they are accepted as whites. You're black, so you see the conversation doesn't go the same for you as it does for the blancos. The conversation does not go the same for you negros as it does for the blancos. But when they go down to Mexico, they are accepted not as Mexicans. They know that they'll be accepted, although they know they'll be accepted as white people. We're all whites down here. Case in point, what happens in the prison system? If you think that the Mexicans, if you think that Latinos see themselves as something other than white, then explain to me, who do the Latinos squad up with in the prison system? If they see themselves as something other than white, who exactly is it that they make it a point to squad up with in the prison system? Now, am I making this all up as I go along? Am I making this up on the fly? Now, if that's all, for those of you of the YouTube generation, you mainline a bunch of videos, okay, what are those videos telling you? The Wes Watsons and them? Well, they tell you the Mexicans can't wait to squad up, not with the blacks, the minorities. They squad up with the whites. Now, why is that? If they don't identify as white, those are the words I'm trying to get through to you. Whites are a minority in prison because you have a white supremacist prison industrial complex. If whites are a minority in prison, why is it that the Mexicans, who are a majority over them, especially in California, why is it that they make it a point to squad up with the whites? If they themselves don't identify as whites, well, then why are they making it a point to do that? When they don't have, there's no incentive and no requirement for them to do so, and yet they have always made that a point. Now, that's not me talking, and that's not my opinion, and that's not my supposition, and that's not me taking it out of context. You explain to me why it is and how it is that in environments that they control, and they control their prisons, and their code of conduct in prison is we squad up with the Anglos, when they don't have to squad up with nobody. Anybody who's ever sniffed by a prison in California knows the Mexicans don't got to squad up with no one. They don't have to squad up with anybody. And yet they have always made it a social rule to squad up with the whites. Why? Because nobody invited you to the party to inform you, oh, we're white people. All of us over here are white people. These are white. We're all of us draw our heritage and our lineage. Damn! We all draw our lineage back to Europe. We share a geographic heritage. We share a religious heritage. What? Oh, I got to remind you all again to connect these dots. We did it decades ago, but I'm just doing it right now. We have a geographic heritage, Europe. We have a religious heritage, Christianity. We have a social heritage, Western imperialism. Did y'all see what I just did right there? Western imperialism. Europe was a colonial imperial nation. Spain, colonial imperial nation. So now you're getting into the culture and the practices. As Europeans, this is just what we do. So you see, when they draw their heritage back, it ends up in Spain. So they, as far as they're concerned, they have much more in common with other Europeans than they would ever have with you in America as a so-called minority. So just understand that. When it comes to all the cultural ties, literally the only difference between them is a language. And as you all know, well, by the second generation, they're all speaking English. Anybody in Florida, Texas, Colorado, Nevada, Arizona, California, the first generation is speaking Spanish, the second generation is speaking fluent English. Fluent English. Why do you think that is? Now, this isn't me characterizing them. This isn't me writing that story. You all know, well, that's accurate. If they didn't want to be white, why is it that they're mobbed up with the Anglos at their own discretion? As opposed to that barrier that you think is there. And yet in practice, you can't show me where it actually is. So that's the delusion you're walking around with because you think they speak a different language. And I'm telling you, that's not the way that goes, man. When they get off by themselves, everybody here, why do you think the illegals, they're employed by white folk? Black folk don't employ the damn illegals. I mean, maybe Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. What? Other than him. But the white folk are the one employing the illegals. I mean, they treat them like family. Those of us from the deep south, you seen that? Oh, they love doing that. They love doing that. Oh, they love shouting them out, man. You see that all the damn time. They love that. Negroes sit around deluding themselves about other folks being in love with you. It's like, oh, no. They got genuine affection over there, Jack. They got genuine affection for him over there. That's a big thing to understand. That's a big thing to understand. In the chat room, Big Maul needs to give us a call up here on Zoom. Big Maul needs to give us a call up here on Zoom. In the meantime, let me go ahead and jump over here on Zoom right quick and get DJ Keith. All right, DJ Keith, you are up here on Zoom. Okay, DJ Keith, I don't see anybody here, so I'm not sure if you're auditioning for your OnlyFans. Turn the light on for me. Don't worry, YouTube is not going to see you, just to make sure we don't have any trolling issues. All right, Keith, no need to be worried about that. All right, Keith, what's on your mind?
No, you tell me what's on your mind. I mean, you've been racist this whole fucking live stream, man. You tell me what you think about white people.
Okay, sir. How have I been racist, sir?
No. Tell me what you think.
Sir, I can't. People. I can. We have to have a common frame of reference.
Simple motherfucker.
We're gonna have to have a common frame of reference. You made an accusation. I don't understand. What racist have you heard from me tonight, sir?
I've heard that brown people are supposed to be white. I've heard that white people are supposed to be brown. I've heard that
I didn't say white people are supposed to be brown, sir. I did not say that.
Yes, you did.
Okay, tell me where the false thing was that I said.
what you said was that Indians are somehow supposed to be white.
I said that when Indians are white people, however, they are not. They are accepted as they are categorized as less than white.
This is what I hate about you, man. You are so fucking disingenuous.
Sir, I'm not the one who made the rules. I didn't make that rule. The government, the white supremacists have said that Indians are white, but they are categorized as less than white. That's been a rule that they've been using now. Did you not hear me explain to you what Benjamin Franklin said?
No, because you did not fucking explain what Benjamin Franklin fucking said. You told me he was a black guy.
I told you that Benjamin Franklin was black?
Yes.
Okay, sir, you might want to lay off the meth. You might want to
listen. Are Russians white or are they black?
Okay, according to the white supremacists, they are less than white.
Okay, are Polish people white or black?
According to the white supremacists, they're white, but less than white.
Okay, are English people, are they white or black?
Well, if they draw their lineage to the Angles of the Saxons, they're white.
Okay,
according to the white supremacists,
are they white or fucking black?
If they draw their lineage to the Angles of the Saxons, then they are white, according to the white supremacists.
Man, I can't take you serious.
I'm not the one who made the rules. You're upset with the wrong person. I didn't make the rules. If you were ignorant that this was what the rules were, that's a personal shortcoming on your part. I didn't make these rules. These are the rules the white supremacists made. I didn't do this. If you're going to spaz out, I understand, but this can be devastating. This is like telling somebody that there's no Santa Claus. What? This fella here, it's like telling him that there's no Santa Claus. He wanted to believe there's a Santa Claus. And there's no Santa? No, sir, there isn't a Santa. That's not, no way. No, man, you kidding, you jiving. No, there's no Santa Claus. He's not there. Never was. It's not a real thing. No. That's all I can imagine. The meth is good tonight. The meth is very, very good tonight is all I can imagine. So they're out here, man. They're wigging out. They're losing their stuff here. All right, folks. You know what? I feel up to it tonight. So let's go ahead and do this right quick. You want to do the thing? Let's go ahead and do the thing. This is why we are the haven of intelligent black thought. White supremacists everywhere tremble when the jet black microphone is fired up. They tremble when the microphone is fired up here because they know and they understand that when we come here, we are going to tear down everything. The facts are immutable. There is no argument against them because you cannot make an argument against them. So for the white supremacists out there who may be listening in, or just simply the uninformed, the not properly informed, who are telling yourselves, oh, this can't be a real thing because you see Ron DeSantis's textbooks and Governor Greg Abbott's textbooks didn't say this. So I will direct you to the writings of one Benjamin Franklin. Yes, that Benjamin Franklin, who was there in 1770 and forward. And he wrote a paper called Observations Concerning the Increase of Mankind. That word increase should be understood as populations of mankind, peopling of countries, etc. I will take you to no less an authority than Columbia EDU. We covered this last week, but this is an opportune moment for us to refresh your memories about this. It's a rather long little piece he put together here. But I will take you all down to the last two paragraphs. And I will read them for you here, thusly, so we can make sure that everybody understands exactly what the hell you're dealing with here. It says here that, in fine, a nation well regulated is like a polypus. Take away a limb, a place as soon supplied, cut it in two, and each deficient part shall speedily grow out of the part remaining. Thus, if you have room and sustenance enough, as you may be dividing, make 10 polyps out of one, you may of one make 10 nations, equally populous and powerful. Rather increase a nation tenfold in numbers and strength. And since detachments of English from Britain sent to America, we will have their places at home so soon supplied and increase, remember that's population, so largely here. Why should the Palatine Boers be suffered to swarm into our settlements? Why should the Palatine Boers be suffered to swarm into our settlements, and by herding together establish their language and manners to the exclusion of ours? Why should Pennsylvania, founded by the English, become a colony of aliens who will shortly be so numerous as to Germanize? Damn! Why should Pennsylvania, founded by the English, become a colony of aliens who will shortly be so numerous as to Germanize us instead of us Anglifying them, and will never adopt our language or customs any more than they can acquire our complexion? He's talking about Germans, people. He said that the Germans cannot gain the true whites' language, customs, or even their complexion. This is Benjamin Franklin laying down the heat. He then goes on to say, which leads me, he said, and one more thing, which leads me to add one remark, that the number of purely white people in the world is proportionably very small. All Africa is black or tawny. So first of all, that term tawny, take a look and listen where he uses it. All of Africa is black or tawny. Asia is chiefly tawny. America, exclusive of the newcomers, you mean you? Wholly so. So he's saying America's completely tawny. Same thing he used to describe, Africa. And in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, and Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion, as are the Germans also, the Saxons only excepted. So he says, all you Germans with the exception of the Saxons, who with the English, the Angles, make the principal body of white people on the face of the earth. Those are the words of Benjamin Franklin when the founders talked about who are the white people when they were writing the Declaration of Independence and establishing this white nation. Benjamin Franklin just lets you know who he and the founders considered to be the true whites. And that category is way smaller than all of you folk who were inducted into whiteness were taught to believe. But if we actually talk to Benjamin Franklin, he says, yeah, well, you Africans, certainly not you, but you Asians. He meant the continent of Asia, which includes India, Russia, which is why he had to even say Russia, but the Asians. Now, he might be referring to the Asians as Orientals, but the Asians, the East Indians, yeah, Asia, America, the so-called Red Indians, and in Europe. So if you had the idea that the Caucasus Mountains or being a European made you white, Benjamin Franklin wanted to dissuade you of that misnomer. He's letting you know in Europe, these are the groups that ain't really white. Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, Swedes, and Germans. Now, this isn't the black authority saying this. This is Benjamin Franklin saying, yes, Spaniards ain't white. Italians, not you either. French, no, not you. Russians, ain't you in Asia? Swedes, oh hell. Blonde-headed, blue-eyed, yep, you ain't white. And the Germans, you mean Adolf H's people? Yep, him too. Now, this is your founding fathers in America telling you that you, 250 years later, you're living under some delusion that everything from Europe is accepted as white. And he was letting you know then, no, these are not white people. These are less than white. But they're not white people. They're not. So this is not Jason Black saying it. This is not the Black Authority laying this down. Benjamin Franklin said this. Now, what is your argument against Benjamin Franklin? That's what I want to know now. You're not arguing with me anymore. These are the words of Benjamin Franklin. So what is your argument that Benjamin Franklin is wrong when he defined who is white? The founders did not argue with him. They were like, hey, we're the real whites, the Angles and the Saxons. Everyone else, they're not really white. They got a different language, different customs, and by the way, that skin complexion. And y'all veering a little bit too much toward Negroes. So tell me, folks, what's their argument against Benjamin Franklin? No wonder your schools don't teach history anymore. Now, they can't lie and say Benjamin Franklin did not say this. You can say you didn't know, but you can't lie and say that Benjamin Franklin didn't say this. So I'm not saying who is white and who isn't. The founders of America let you know it was common knowledge among them who was white and who wasn't. And a bunch of people who today got drafted and inducted into whiteness, quotation whiteness, but everyone remembers, yeah, you're not really whites though. You are white with an asterisk, but you're not really white people. You are white when it serves our convenience, but you're not actually white. So you are white for political purposes. You are white for socioeconomic purposes. But for genetic purposes, lineage purposes, no, you are not white. You're cool people and everything, but you're not white. You are white when useful. Okay, iPhone, you got the lights all off here. So everybody, if you're calling in on Zoom, make sure you have some lights on. If you're going to do a strip tease, this ain't the night. Okay, iPhone, what's your name?
Hi, my name's Quincy Davis.
All right, Quincy, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up? Well, first of all, I'm a foundational Black American. My roots run from Arkansas on my daddy's side. On my mama's side, Creole, Cane River. I'm pretty sure you're Natchitoches. I'm pretty sure you were familiar with that area. But I'm calling to because I disagree with the part where you said white people accept Latinos or Mexicans in particular as white, as if they see them as one of them. I totally disagree with that.
Okay, sir, I never said that white people accept Latinos as one of them.
Okay.
I didn't say that. I said that you see white folk having a lot of camaraderie with them. They bring the illegals over here. They talk to them like family. They do that kind of pet thing like, oh, this is my boy here. And they make it seem like there's some deep roots. But no, I did not say that whites accept them. I said exactly the opposite. So, no. Now, Latinos want to get their white card. But no, the Anglos have never accepted them as white people. They have certain social affectations, but they've never done that.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean no disrespect. I misheard what you said, but it seemed like you was trying to say like they had like a certain. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Well, anyways, the point I wanted to make was I live in San Antonio, Texas. The white T-man, white folks, however you want to say that, they detest Latinos, Mexicans in particular. They have a deep disdain for these people.
When they are inconvenient. That's the phrase you have to put on the end of that. Every word you just said is accurate. Remember, their so-called affinity is, I've been saying this over and over, I'm not saying it because I'm bored. Yes. Latinos are great when they are convenient. And then they get kicked out of whiteness when it's no longer convenient to keep them in.
Oh, yes.
So when they're useful, come on in. I mean, let me give you an example, brother.
Sure.
Who are the white men in San Antonio who have a damn problem with Ava Longoria or Eva Mendes or Jessica Alba? Show them to me. Who are the white men who talk trash about them chicks?
Oh, they're not, because the Latinos think white men are gods. I mean,
no. The white men, the Anglos. Who are the Anglos who have a problem with any one of them Spanish women?
No, none. I agree with you.
Right.
None.
But there's my thing about it. So if they really have that kind of animosity, well, why is it they're okay with these chicks here? Well, it's okay when they are convenient. So when it is to white supremacy's advantage, you get your white hall pass. You get your white card. Yeah. When you become inconvenient, they immediately step in to revoke it. And that's the way that works. So you have to don't misunderstand or confuse usefulness and utility and advantage, because white supremacy sees itself as war at all the time, which means you're having to make quote unquote drastic decisions all the time, which really just means lasting decisions. So don't mistake a tool or an implement of war for hatred or affinity. Don't mistake either one of those. They don't have a particular affinity that you're white, but if you're useful, we're going to cultivate that. And you will remain cultivated right up until the point you're no longer useful.
Yeah.
Then we shut that down. So that's the dichotomy that you're encountering there. So I can show you when it's to their advantage, they ain't got a problem with them damn folk. When it's to their advantage. You're pointing out, wait a minute, right now you start seeing them at their heart, there's not that affinity there, which you're correct about. But don't mistake that either. That flips on a dime if they need you.
Yes.
They tuck that in and bury that. You would not have the situation with the Latinos they do if that were not the case. They wouldn't be so willing to go along to get along with white supremacy if that was their daily experience of how they deal with things. It wouldn't be the case. Like remember Uvalde, Texas.
Yes.
They had that terrible school shooting down there. That was terrible. That was awful. That's a 90% Mexican town that elected an Anglo mayor.
Yep.
Now you would think, brother, in Southern that would be mathematically impossible. They did it.
No.
They did it. And furthermore, one more thing. Do you think that you know anything about how white folks in Texas sentiments are about them that they don't know? I mean, the Latinos. Do you think do you think it's like a secret to them that they're just you found out but they're unaware?
No, I don't think that. I just think that because they view the white man as God, as their God, that they I'm having a hard time finding my words. I guess they ignore it, or they don't want to acknowledge it, or I think you kind of get what I'm trying to say.
Oh, well.
You see?
Then, if you're the guy on the God side of that, what are you worried about?
Oh,
No. I'm just telling you to think about that for a moment.
Yeah,
for the fella on, I'm not disputing you. I'm saying, what you're saying is accurate because we see the same thing with the Asians. Remember after World War II? Well, brother, if you're the guy on the God side of that equation you just gave, now you're the guy to look up to like that. Well, no. What problem do you have giving them a hall pass for whiteness? They're not trying to overthrow you. They're just trying to improve their position within your structure. So in other words, they are here at your pleasure.
Yes, sir.
So as long as you want them here, they serve your purposes. And when you're done with it, you stamp your foot and they accept it.
Yep.
Because as far as they're concerned, the issue isn't that you're racist. The issue is they did something they shouldn't have done to upset white daddy.
Yes. I agree with 100%. One quick thing, too. I remember a couple episodes you was talking about how the Asians, how in their anime, and even some of their video games, even like Metal Gear Solid, where all the lead characters are white men or white complected looking people. I think that was spot on. That was great. I've been noticing that since I was, I'm damn near 40 now. I've been noticing that since I was like 10, 11, 12. So that was spot on. But anyways, man, great program as usual, Jason, man, B1. And yeah, man, thanks.
Thank you for giving us a call tonight. I don't know exactly when that started. I know that you can find stories written by them and whatnot. I think a lot of that started with the technical stuff with Robotech and stuff like that, where you started basically Asian characters with blonde hair and stuff like that in Japanese anime. So I know it goes back to at least that practice goes back to at least the 70s. So if World War II was over in 48 or so, within about what, 20 years, you start seeing them making anime characters and manga characters with blonde hair. It wasn't like that at the very beginning. At the very beginning, that was not the way it was. Somewhere along the line, though, they started doing that. So I know at least that started at least in the 70s. I know you start seeing this happen at least in the 70s with their animation in particular. You start seeing Asian characters with blonde hair. So I know it goes back at least to the 70s. With nobody asking, by the way, ain't this a little weird? Ain't this a little weird? Isn't that a little strange? So there's a reason for it, man. There's a reason for it. Here's what I want you all to take away from this. As black people, we do not have the same interaction or have the same things going. We're not privy to the same conversations or sentiments that they are. The Latino experience with Anglos is different from ours, man. Just like the Asian experience with them is different from ours. That does not mean that they're not still practicing white supremacy. That's not what that means. What it does mean, however, is you're not privy to the way that they treat those folk, not the nuances of it. So without us being privy to that, a lot of the time we start making flat blanket statements that either these folks are all in or they're all out. And I'm telling you, it's not that simple. It really isn't. They are in when convenient. As soon as they are no longer useful and white supremacy's got its stuff solidified, they go straight to work putting boot to ass and kicking everybody out. But just understand what their relationship to these other people is like. You're brought in to help bolster the white supremacist machine. That's what you're here for. And so long as you're useful for that, we'll play nice and smile and this, that, and the other. And they've never had a problem with your women. That's never been an issue. They've never had an issue with Mexican females, Spanish females. Don't have one with them today. That's not a problem. Indian females are newer because you haven't really had, Indian people in America are a more recent thing, especially in larger numbers. They're a more recent thing, so they haven't really had a track record like that. Spanish females, you're talking about Raquel Welch and going back all the way. So the Latinos who had to hide that they were Latino, Martin Sheen, Raquel Welch, and all the others. And it was only in their senior citizen years that they actually admitted to being Latinos. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But they obviously felt they couldn't. Certainly when they were younger, they had to pass for Anglos. They could not really be Latinos. They had to pass as Anglos. So they played the role. Okay. Well, with these other groups of Asians, that's not quite the same because they don't really come across as Spaniards. So that kind of serves as a stumbling block. But folk of Spanish descent, you've always had a lot more of them in the Western Hemisphere than you had otherwise. The Asians, particularly the Indians, that's newer. So you haven't really had that bombshell Indian female yet. That's what we're really waiting on. You're really waiting to have a bombshell Indian female who just makes the white boys go gaga. That's the only thing they're waiting on. You've already had that with the Latinas. The only thing now is having a bombshell Indian female that really makes them go nuts, that they really want to do that for. When she breaks through and makes it socially acceptable across the board, that's when the dam's really going to break right there. But they're kind of resistant. When you got the Nick Fuentes nagging you all the time about that, it makes it hard to get that across, man. It makes it hard to make that happen. All right, let's go ahead and jump over here on Zoom right quick. Let's see if we can get Cheryl up here on Zoom. Cheryl, if you're not paying attention, man, I need you to wake up. Let me go ahead and see if we can do that. There you go, Cheryl. All right, Cheryl, what's on your mind?
First of all, good evening to you. Thank you so much for doing all that you do. You're so enlightening, and you make understanding the world that we live in a whole lot easier on all of us if we'll accept it. We're just not very receptive of accepting hard facts. So I was calling up to make this statement, though, in reference to what you were just talking about. You know, our people have fooled themselves into believing that that other people are who they are. Well, that's far from the truth. And we pay a high price for that. I understand the desire for it, but you can't play seesaw by yourself. It's just one of those things where you have to man and woman up and do the best that you can to understand reality. And a lot of us, we contort ourselves.
Dr. Francis Chris Wilson said that white supremacy plays dumb about racism and black folk play dumb along with them. The real thing is getting us to not play dumb along with that. And conversations like this, I hope, help illuminate that they're not confused. They're not confused about that. They might lay up with an Indian, they might lay up with a Latina, but Brother Neely Fuller taught us, don't let that make you think they're confused. They did not hop into bed with her and hop out confused. They hopped into bed with her and hopped out and went right back to practicing white supremacy. That's exactly what they did.
I'd like to admit something to you.
Here comes Zaddy.
Oh, no, you're wrong for that. No, sir. Unfortunately, I have a mom of 5. I've called your program before. Your broadcast, sorry. I've called your broadcast before. And I have 5 children, 2 boys, 3 boys, 2 girls. Everybody's an adult. And 2 of my adult boys are dating outside of our race. I'm a black activist. I am a black activist. Nothing new. And it's almost like a rebellion.
What does their dad think?
There you go. He abandoned us.
Okay. Just like last week. The lady I talked to last week, same story. Basically.
Yes, sir. Basically. And I don't know. I did not raise them, I'm going to say, in a black community, meaning their school was not, mostly of our people. It was a mixed race high school.
When women start trying to raise boys, they start making very simple-minded calculations. And those simple-minded calculations, on paper, it works out to you just fine. However, in practice, you are completely ignorant of what the ramifications will be, because you think about your background. If you have a consciousness about that, you really want to replicate that for your children. Telling yourself that I need to get them away from that, well, you're divorcing them from everything, including the things that you learned. So what you end up doing is sending them off into other folks' environments, hoping that they're going to pick up what you learned by osmosis. And that is not what's going to happen when they get over there. When they get over there, them folks going to tell them, the real problem is your mama didn't try hard enough. She wasn't doing this, that, and the other. And if you all just work really hard and keep good grades here and don't cause no damn trouble, boys, then everything will work out fine for you. And without some countervailing influence to debrief them about these misnomers, then they start accepting it to a certain degree. They'll start accepting it, and then eventually they're going to find somebody who plays along with them. And the real thing is, with a lot of black males, they end up being somebody's pet, is what ends up happening. They end up being somebody's pet and calling that a relationship. So for the females out there and whatnot, one of the worst thing you can do is be a single parent with no male influence around them. And male influence means daily. Dr. John Henry Clark talked about this. Females are hard-headed. They destroyed everything, because at the end of the day, that is what they need, is a solid, and Dr. John Henry Clark said this, he said, I would prefer for them to be married. That is the best circumstances, but we just said we prefer that. You have boys who do not have men to hold them to account and to describe these things. As a female, there's only so much you can do. There's so much you can do, and there's a lot you're going to be leaving out. Because as males, we learn from what we see and what we do, not what we feel, because that's what makes you a girl. We don't learn from what we feel and somebody wagging their finger in your face. What wakes a male up is when he walks into a situation where he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, he's played by all the rules, and then they throw him the damn swerve. And what at that moment, when he's supposed to be the one who walks home with the trophy and they practice white supremacy, that's when you need somebody, preferably a male, but this is where females tend to miss this because you're not there. When somebody has practiced white supremacy against him, that moment right there is when somebody needs to step in and say, did you see what they just did? You're not going to run. You don't run up raising your voice. You don't run up yelling. You go over to your son and say, now, do you see what they just did? Mm-hmm. Now, why do you think, I'm telling all the females out there, you're supposed to say, do you see what they just did? Uh-huh. Why do you think they did that? Now, you get him to take a look and see the very clear, obvious evidence in front of his face. Well, they only let all the white kids win. That's the only thing I see. So that's not you telling him, badgering him, nagging him. That is you teaching him and parenting him. Females miss this. So, for example, let's just say it's a sporting event. Mama's not playing out there. She doesn't play sports with him. She doesn't do that. So the things that boys will do at the ground level, you're not going to be a part of that. You'll miss most of that. That's why when those opportunities present themselves, he winds up with the white teacher explaining to him what went wrong, which is going to always be nothing went wrong. So what I've found is, in my experience, I recognize you all have a bunch of missed opportunities. When the teaching was supposed to be done, you're either not there or we didn't take advantage of that. That's the part that's missing. So especially if you got 5 kids, I mean, kids are a handful to handle regardless. So it's really not a one-person job. There's just going to be too much you miss. You're only one person. I don't care how much you love them. There's just too much you're going to miss. And this is one of the things you'll miss. You'll miss that.
Well, I'm going to interject this as well. You know, every last one of them did really good and they graduated with honors from high school. The 2 that went to college, which are the 2 youngest, they went on scholarship. Everybody else is independent, doing very well for themselves. But like I said, it's that one matter that's always been troubling. I mean, I tried to tell them, I talk to them. I don't go to them yelling and screaming and kvetching.
Well, sometimes that helps, but you're doing the same thing I heard the lady do last week. And what I'm saying is, as females, you all are not getting it, that everything that you think is right is counterintuitive. Males do not develop through ease. They develop through adversity. What they need is somebody to teach them exactly what the adversity is doing for them. What women tend to do is coddle their sons. And by coddling, you all try to figure out what it is that could cause them problems or give them emotional anguish. And how do I step in and save them from that? So when you say they did well in school, my ears immediately go up. You are prioritizing something that actually has less value. I didn't say it has none. It does not have the value that you subscribe to it. Because remember, who is it that gives them the grade in school, ma'am?
The institution.
Oh,
by white people.
So in other words, how much supervision did you have of exactly what they were gaining A's in?
Not much.
Okay, so in other words, they were pleasing, quote unquote, the teachers just fine without you having any insight into, by the way, what exactly are you pleasing them at? Well, I'm quiet. I do my work. So what I heard is compliant. We might even have docile. He doesn't put up any trouble. He goes with the flow. Well, then what happens when he leaves that school and he's out here in society and they're practicing white supremacy against him? Does he stand up and fight it, or does he continue being compliant, non-disturbing? Well, because here's the problem with, quote, smart people. Smart people are very good at solving problems, but, quote, smart people are also very good at creating very good rationalizations for excuses.
And that's exactly what they do when I've tried to talk to.
Oh, so all those grades that you are prioritizing.
Well,
I'm on the spotlight on this, ma'am. So the things that you thought were important, I'm showing you that, by the way, you thought I'm killing it. We're doing great. And it's only once they leave the school that you can see what the real lesson was they took away from it. As men, we would have recognized this when they were in elementary school. It's like, yeah, they shouldn't be doing that.
Can I interject one thing though?
Second time.
Okay. I'm gonna try and bring this point home to you. One of the things I think that had the worst impact on my sons were those games, and I did not buy them. I didn't have the heart to take them out my home, but their dad before
what games? What games are we talking about?
I guess the PS games.
Okay.
Yeah, the games, became so advanced to where now you're talking and you got friends you're talking to, and next thing I know, it's like you're spending all your time. I couldn't get them to go places with me and the girls. And
okay, what the hell are you talking about?
Well,
what state are you from, ma'am?
I live in Mississippi.
Okay, you ain't got no damn excuse. I'm from Louisiana. I don't want to hear the damn person sitting here talking about what they don't do. That's garbage. My grandmamas could stop that in a damn second. They're going to walk right in the damn room, yank the whole damn plug out this thing. You are not being asked to do something. You are being instructed. So they never had to tell me to put down a video game. This is not a debate. If we determine, we're doing a little bit too much video gaming here, you need to turn that off. Just in a minute, here they come storming over. Yank. I wasn't begging you.
You're 100% right.
Oh yeah, and one more thing, as I said last week, by the way.
And I knew I
and
was doing
if you back talk, if you're lucky, she goes and gets a Switch. If you are unlucky, she grabs what's at hand.
Deal with it, nigga.
She was not begging you, and she was not asking you. You were being told. So this is what I mean by y'all coddle 'em. Well, everything you just said right there, that's a damn debate and a negotiation. Who the hell's the parent here? Well, they got the games, and women, y'all don't know, but the sad reality, you don't know what to do with them. They are boys. You don't know. Okay, you're boys. You don't know what to do with them. They are boys. The way of boys is foreign to you. Just like the way of girls is foreign to men. That's why you got a mama and a daddy. When your daughter is growing up, if she's raised by a man, they turn out like Venus and Serena Williams. Fine, upstanding citizens, but about as feminine as a tire iron. Now, they're fine, upstanding citizens, great sportsmen, but feminine beings? Oh yeah, and by the way, take a look at who they went after. So you all tend to major in things that are important to you without a real comprehension of how this will be absorbed by the children. So you focus on grades and then pat yourselves in the back time, I'm doing a great job and killing it. And you're not really understanding what they're taking away from it. As a female, you can single mom this mess. You can't really raise a boy because you don't understand how males are. You can be a great loving mama, but the problem is women are really only there for the first couple of years. Exactly. Your job is to keep them alive while they are helpless. As soon as that boy can walk around, he gets handed off to the man so that from the longest time he can go, okay, you talk too much. You hand him off to the man. And then from the time he can remember, he was raised by the men with male expectations. Men don't want little children around. Women want you to be babies forever because that's comforting to you. First thing in a man's company is we start getting you to work because that's what makes you a man. Not being an overgrown child or, I'll be damned, an overgrown infant. First thing women want to do is jump in. Well, you trying to make them grow up too quick. And then one of these hoes complain about these men out here don't want to take care of nobody. Okay, well, that's what you're training them to do. So as men, as soon as he can walk, we focus on this little sucker need to be useful. He needs to be useful. If he looks back over his life and that's all he remembers is being useful, nobody has to teach that to him when he's older. However, by the same token, we also teach him not to be nobody's damn fool and not to sit up here and get mistreated. So if he goes to school and he is being mistreated, when his dad showed him, yeah, we don't let folk mistreat you like that, here's how you respond to that. But dad, the teacher might, damn a teacher. This is how you respond if they mistreating you, and if they got something to say, you tell them you can talk to my dad about it. My dad told me if you got something to say about how I handled it, you come talk to him. So don't think you're going to scare me by calling dad. Dad told me to do this. So you got a problem? Call my daddy. Like when they get older, you don't talk to police, call my lawyer. How do you think you teach them that? The ones who squeal on the first 48, they was told go call a teacher. The ones who sit there and don't say nothing, they were told go call my daddy. Call a lawyer. You all don't teach males this. You teach them your idea of, quote, keeping safe. A female idea of keeping safe is non-combative. Males do not find safety. Males create safety. But they cannot do that with a female trying to inculcate in him feminine tools. Because boys, black boys in particular, need to be told when it's time to squabble up. They need to be told that, yeah, there are times to be civil and there are other times to put your foot down. Because you are in a society that targets black boys. And I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to show you what to do about it. And now I expect you to just go do it. That's how a man raises a boy. We prepare him for manhood, which means to stand up for himself. Females don't do that. Break their arms, patting themselves in the back about grades. And you've raised the most intelligent, docile simp that we're gonna see. That's the problem. And next thing you know, you got an RG3 or whatever, and a white woman puts a saddle on his back, and now he makes a fool of him, and whatever. And that's what the final report card ends up being. You worry about the school. The school is worried about what he's gonna do and gonna be 10 years after he leaves them. That's what they're worried about. So they want to make sure, by the way, he's not gonna make trouble, is he? Nope. He's more concerned about grades, isn't he? Yep. So he'd be more concerned about his job than he is about anything else. So when we practice white supremacy, he will respond to it like a female would. He will not respond to it like a man who has something bigger than the state. He won't do that. Nope, he won't. And then when they get him in college, yep, sure is right. Next thing you know, he becomes a servant. And that becomes the final report card on the parenting. So to all the single females out there and whatnot, yeah, y'all, you might tell yourselves how great that is. Good grades on a boy are only one indicator of how well he's developing. That is not an indicator of if he's fully developing. It is just one signal. Y'all leave out the others. Now that you said that, I guarantee that there's something else very crucial that's been left out. The two who are with the white women. How mechanically inclined are they?
Extremely.
Okay, define extremely.
Well,
define
mechanically
extremely.
inclined. They repair computers. They have vehicles that are under 2004. They refuse to buy new cars. The older one lives in Nevada and works on helicopter computers, and the youngest one is in college.
Okay. All of that sounds good, except it's not good. They have cars before 2004. Well, that tells me about their socioeconomic standing.
No, sir.
Yes, it does.
Doesn't. Actually, it doesn't.
Okay. She is very argumentative, y'all. I wonder how the boys end up like this. Okay. What does he, Mr. 2004, what does he do with helicopters and computers? What does he do for a living?
Well, he is considered to be a airline computer engineer.
Okay. And the woman that he's with, is he married her?
Not yet.
Yikes. Does he have children with her?
Nope.
Okay. And
I don't have grandkids.
Okay. Well, we'll see how that goes. Although I am curious about one thing. How long has he been with her?
4 years.
4 years.
And I'm telling you, when I first found out, I talked to him about it respectfully.
Okay, she's going off another thing here. I'm focusing on character traits and she's focusing on pet peeves. So I want y'all to understand the difference. I'm focusing on the character traits, leave those things. She's focused on pet peeves. Computers are nice. Computers are electronics. Computers don't really qualify as mechanically inclined because computers don't move. So that's the first thing. They don't have moving parts. Thank goodness. They're only getting fewer of them. Well, they work on cars. I mean, there's a difference between being mechanically inclined and, quote, owning cars that are old. There's a difference between those two. There's a difference between knowing how to work on his car and being willing to crawl up under anything.
That's what he does, both of them.
He's a car mechanic.
As a matter of fact, the oldest one by phone taught the youngest one how to do repairs on the 2 cars that the youngest one has.
Okay, well, there's a difference. Once again, there's a difference between doing it on the ones that they have versus can do it on anything. So that's why I want y'all to let y'all know I'm not getting stuck on trick words that she throws out there. Nah, whether or not they do it on everything, because if he's been with that female for years, I expect him to work on hers too.
Yeah. Well,
there you go. There you go.
No. Right. Well, no, you're misunderstanding me. He does then, okay? He does.
No.
They own a Lexus and a Nissan 240 SX that's like a 2004 or something older than that for the Nissan, and the Lexus is probably
she does or he does.
He does. Those are his cars.
Okay, what about her?
Those are his cars.
All right, what about second time? What about her?
The Lexus is his for her. And he drives the Nissan. He drives his
right. The Lexus. You said he got the Lexus for her.
For her.
And what year is that Lexus again?
I think it's like a 2016.
Okay.
It may, yeah.
Right. Does she have any children?
None.
How much does she weigh? You already know this. How much does she weigh?
I just saw her a few weeks ago. So I'm going to put her at 145.
Okay, I got real questions about that. However, I will say this right here. Obviously, there's not much competition for her because she's with a dude who's got her in a 10-year-old Lexus that's old enough to go to middle school.
And deal with it.
So obviously the competition for her isn't very stiff because that's where she's at.
Want to see a picture of her?
Yikes. Yeah, you can show me a picture of her. I'm sure this will be a hoot.
How can I show
you? Okay, you
a
just said you show a picture and then you talk about how do I do that? Okay.
How can I do it? That's what I'm asking. I don't know how to do it.
Well, technically speaking, you could send one over Zoom, but we'll take your word for it here.
Yeah, I don't have one in the house.
We'll take your word for it here. However, what I'm saying is key indicator, there's not a lot of competition for her because she's with a dude whose gift to her is a 10-year-old Lexus at this point. That tells me what the competition is like. Oh, hell.
And that's him.
Is he former military? Is he still in?
He's former.
Okay. Y'all, every red flag known to man, we just running right over them. Boom, 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 boom. Just one after another. A student, white schools, military. No, and just boom, 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 boom. Every red flag known to man, y'all. Every flag known to man.
And great credit scores. All my kids and me.
Yep. Great credit scores, and I'm sure she appreciates that. I'm sure she appreciates that. So thank you for raising them to bring her great credit scores there. You're doing a great job. You're doing a fantastic job there. They can great credit scores all around. I'm sure she appreciates it. He's going to be signing for a house for her at some point. So
actually, he's buying his first house.
Okay, well, can't wait for her to get put on the deed. So that'll work, and we'll just move on down the road. I got questions about that, but so, folks, once again, you get the final report card on the kids when we get way down the road. It's going to be about 10 years after you leave high school, and then you start seeing the habits that are ingrained, the ones that are chiseled into concrete. And it's like, that's what it's going to be at that point. Because if he didn't learn these lessons growing up, It usually takes something catastrophic
Pretty did, but
to.
I think the influence came elsewhere because I didn't encourage that, and I still don't.
Okay.
And I still say to both of them what I have to say.
Okay, well, at this point right now, ma'am, you can't raise them. I mean, that's the,
No.
You can talk, but the bottom line is if they don't value what you're trying to get them to value, the damage is already done.
It is.
I don't hand out wolf tickets. I'm just like, the damage is already done at this point. If this is something you're lamenting, you can't raise them anymore. They're making decisions now as adults. So this part you talking about, they ain't really hearing that.
Nope.
Especially if she's been around for years. What I'm telling you is that was what they took away from your parenting. You can say all you want to. You were saying something else. I'm taking a look at how they turned out. That's what they took away from it, because a male is supposed to be ashamed to do something that shames his mama. They're supposed to be ashamed to do that.
Well, you do have to understand outside influences too.
Okay, you're their parent there. There's not supposed to be any influences you don't control, ma'am.
Okay.
I mean, tell me who got more authority over them than you do.
No one has more authority, but outside influences will ruin a good child.
Okay, whose job is it to tell me the outside influences that you are powerless to prevent, ma'am?
I wasn't powerless to prevent them.
Okay.
I didn't have the wherewithal to follow through on some things.
Right.
I wish I had.
Right.
I wish I had, but I didn't have it.
Oh.
And I knew I didn't have it then. And I didn't run their dad off. He ran himself off. So.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
So says every single mother known to man.
Okay.
I'm just going to leave it. Every single mom says, I didn't run him off. I wonder if I had him here to give his side of the story, I wonder if he would say the same thing. I wonder if that would be his version of the events. I wonder. I'm not disputing you just yet. I'm just saying, if I talk to him, I wonder what his testimony about the relationship would be. I wonder where he would weigh in on that. So, but in any case, ma'am, hey, look here, you're gonna have some high yellow grandkids here in a little bit when she finally, if he keeps doing this long enough, they'll go ahead and do that. So you'll have some you'll have some biracial kids in the family, and when it's time for Thanksgiving, this will be a hoot. You can get to meet the in-laws when they come on over there, with their raisin cornbread. What? And their mayonnaise potato salad, and boy, that first Thanksgiving is gonna be a hoot. Oh, that's gonna be a hoot. But hey, they had straight A's and got good credit, so all's well that ends well. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Yeah, y'all, that first Thanksgiving gonna be a beast. That first Thanksgiving is gonna be a beast. Oh man. Yeah, buddy, when she brings the family over and they're playing Taylor Swift and Tim McGraw. What? When you got the unseasoned turkey legs. They're gonna want to do the baked turkeys, the unseasoned turkey legs. Oh man. Yeah, when they want to do that and the organic greens. They're going to be doing the Kamala Harris organic greens. Oh boy, that first Thanksgiving is going to be something. With the carb-free the carb-free turkey stuffing. Damn! Oh man. The gluten-free potato salad and the carb-free turkey stuffing, the carb-free bread, the carb-free cornbread. Oh man. Cornbread with no carbs. Yes, sir. Welcome this into the gene pool. Boy, can't wait till this kick off. Boy, y'all gonna be sitting at the table. You got the damn bread that bounces. What? You can sit there and bounce the bread like a damn tennis ball. Oh, man. Yes, sir. The carb free. Yes, ma'am. Boy, that's going to be a beast. Yeah, there is some. One of my mods is trying to dispute me on that. I meant what I said. I meant what I said about carb-free turkey stuffing. Yes, I meant that. No, I didn't trip. I didn't stutter. I didn't make a mistake. I meant what I said. Carb-free turkey stuffing, carb-free cornbread. Yes, sir, I meant that. One of my mods didn't get the memo and don't know what that is. Carb? How you gonna have carb-free bread? You about to find out.
And deal with it, nigga.
How you have carb-free bread? Yeah, y'all, one of them times. Anybody remember the carb-free cereal they had at the store? They used to have that carb-free cereal. It's like, oh my goodness. Oh, you poured milk on it? That stuff was like cardboard. Oh, it was terrible. You had a bowl full of milk. You poured that carb-free cereal in it, and it just soaked up all the water. Soaked up all the milk, which didn't matter. It soaked up the milk, and it was still tough as hell. Man, you could tile your damn bathroom with that stuff. Oh, it was awful. I got one box of that and said, okay, never again in life. Let me just go ahead and count these calories. Never again in life you bought that. It's like this stuff was like, I'm serious, it was like if you took cardboard and soaked it in milk, that's what that stuff was like. No taste, no texture except cardboard. Oh, it was awful. I said, oh, hell no. No. So yeah, y'all gonna be hostages at the damn table. She gonna bring her grandmama over there. You about to get introduced to carb-free cornbread and carb-free dinner rolls.
Nigga, what?
Yeah, her mama, her auntie gonna introduce your damn family to some carb-free dinner rolls. How she make bread with no carbs in it? Y'all about to find out what the damn secret ingredient is. Yes, sir. She's gonna be like, oh, this is bread without flour. What? Yes, you'll love my recipe. This is my flourless dinner rolls. Yeah, y'all thought the gluten-free ice cream and the gluten-free potato salad was the worst. Wait till they introduce you to their carb-free dinner rolls. Yes, sir. I don't know if you saw carb-free tortilla wraps. It depends, because they'll be made out of vegetables. They'll use vegetables instead of flour. But I'm talking about rolls. It's like, okay, this is my flour-free dinner rolls. It doesn't use flour. How the hell? It doesn't use flour. Nope. It doesn't use corn. Nope. No flour, no corn. What the hell is this? One brother said Soylent White.
Damn!
One brother said not Soylent Green, but Soylent White. Yeah, man. Y'all thought y'all's Thanksgiving was rough. You thought it was bad back when they had mystery meat. Okay. We got mystery meat. She done brought over a damn meatloaf. It's like, okay, explain to me why the meatloaf ain't got no dimples in it or nothing. This meatloaf is as smooth as a banana skin. What is this made of? Yeah, we done brought you this non-beef meat roll, my non-beef meatloaf, and unseasoned turkey. Was it air fried turkey? Intervention! Yeah, y'all sitting there, she's talking about a damn air fried turkey. A whole damn table of food and everybody's starving. Can't nobody eat nothing. It's a whole table of food. A nigga can't do nothing but look at this. It's like one of them fake plastic, foods you take a look at. All you can do is look at this. Hell no, turkey legs so damn dry you can knock a nigga over the head with it. Take his wallet? No, hell no. What the hell? So welcome to you think Thanksgiving bad? Wait till Christmas come around. Yes, sir. Yeah, wait till Christmas roll up on you. Y'all thought it was rough at y'all's house. I'm like, okay, you sitting there, your mama there, your aunties show up, all the black folk who know how to cook, and oh man, you like that movie Get Out, and here she come through the door, and they got decades of experience. This is either gonna go real well or go real bad. That's what happens in these situations. This is either gonna turn out really well, or this is gonna just go horrible. So you basically got to have two sides of the table. You got to have the black side of the table, and then you got to have the suburb side of the table. You got to have them two. We got to have two turkeys. Otherwise, we're going to starve up in here. We got to have two turkeys or else we're going to starve up in here. It ain't going to happen. It's not going to work. No, maybe if they got Uncle Bubba out back with the barbecue pit, he might be okay. But the rest of these folk up in there, okay. And then they start cooking, okay, I got to watch your asses. I got to watch you. Make sure they all wash their hands and everything else. And, you don't want the one sitting back there with her hair all over the damn place. Oh, man. You're like, hey, these beans turned out really well. Here come big ass blonde hairs. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. But they got straight A's. Hey y'all, but the boys got straight A's. They got straight A's. So as long as you have that, you're good, right? Yes, sir. They got straight A's. Yeah, and you about to have lead in your belly after this Thanksgiving. We talking about no mercy. And then, they show it with their own damn aluminum foil. What? That's the other thing, boy. Like, they force you to be mean, because if you try to be polite, boy, they quick to flip out the aluminum foil. They'll leave the whole damn pots with you. White folk are real good about that. White folk will leave their pots with you. Black folk will give you one of them styrofoam plates or something. They'll give those styrofoam meal holders. They'll give you that. White folk will leave their pots with you. Oh, don't worry. You can hold on to that, Bushika. Keep the whole pot there. It's just... All right, boy. They keep the damn... They keep the damn Teflon people in business. They'll leave the whole damn pot with you, the whole damn casserole pan. It's just, don't worry about it. And just throw foil over the top of it. Oh, they're hella generous. You can't blame them. You can't say that against them. They're hella generous. Because y'all know niggas will hunt you down in 20 years if you got a pot. What? Damn! There's some of y'all in y'all family. Folk ain't spoken in 20 years because she borrowed their pots and didn't bring them back. That's never an issue with white folk. White folk, they'll just put aluminum foil on top of it. We good. You never hear from them again. Black folk be like the movie Colors over a damn skillet. Yeah, but when they show up at your house, they'll leave the whole damn pot. There's, you really love this? And you got a... Yeah, big ass plastic pan of, phenomenal bread. Yeah, big ass plastic pan of Nerf bread, and it's like, okay, they done left the whole damn thing here. You can't feed it to the dog. The dogs look at it, he sniff it 2 times. What this nigga trying to feed me? Oh, he ain't having it. Can y'all imagine Thanksgiving at Elon's house? What? Oh, hell. You want a messed up Thanksgiving? Let Elon be hosting it. Everybody's getting ketamine and pills and liquor, and ain't no food. Ain't no food. Everything is cocaine and Pepsi. That's Thanksgiving at Elon's house. Cocaine and Pepsi. That's all you get. Ain't nobody eating nothing. Cocaine, Pepsi, and him tripping about going to Mars. It's okay. I'm good. Y'all, in the chat room, Chiquita said, bring my pot back.
Damn!
Chiquita said, right. Bring my pot back. Yes, sir. For all the white folk listening right now, that's a rule with us. Y'all, you take your pots to somebody's house for the holidays, you just forget about it. Okay, you'll be the star of the damn Hatfields and McCoys if you don't bring that damn thing back. Oh, if we let you have one, which is very unlikely, but if we let you have one, you need to bring that back. Trust me, you are going to be starting a blood feud if that thing don't make its way back. We found just the right pot, just the right pan, just the right everything. We ain't trying to. No, you will have started a blood feud if you don't bring that back. So, to the white folk listening here, to the Asian whites and everybody, hey, bring the pot back. Bring the skillet back. Yeah, we know you like it. I don't give a damn what you got to do. And drive it back. Don't send it back FedEx. It might get lost. So, if it left with you, it better make its way back. And don't talk about bringing a replacement neither. Because we got that damn thing seasoned just the way we want it. So, just in case y'all wasn't warned. Because for y'all, it's like, y'all just replace the whole damn house. No, we don't do this. There's a lot of y'all, you fell out with black folk and don't understand. Keisha doesn't talk to me anymore. I don't get it. Keisha doesn't talk to me anymore. I don't know why. We sitting right there. Did you give her pot back? Well, no, it's right here. It's just a pot. Okay. All right. I'm surprised she ain't come over here and jacked you. I'm surprised she ain't met you at the front door with a Louisville Slugger. I'm surprised she ain't did that. So, yeah, y'all. Don't worry. Old girl gonna find out here in just a minute. She is gonna find out here in just a minute, but hey, remember the test scores were good. The test scores were good. And you ain't never gonna have another good Thanksgiving again. So I hope you wasn't attached to those. And they will be inviting you. They will be inviting you. Oh, they good for that too, boy. They're gonna be nagging you about that. Don't Negroes love to eat? Well, bring them on over here. All right. Yeah, you ain't gonna hear the end of this. Brothers and sisters, like I say, going in this weekend here, we're all right. The white supremacists are not okay. They are having fits. They're having fits, but it's our job to make sure that they have those and keep those and retain those. And anything and everything that we can do to exacerbate the situation, that is incumbent on us to do that for the good of people, for the good of mankind, is what we do. Yes, a lot of folk in here having flashbacks about their cookware. Oh, they're having flashbacks. There's some folk in y'all families here. You think it's crazy. No, there's a bunch of folk in here listening right now. It's like the family done fell out. They didn't bring the pot back. They didn't bring the stuff back. It's like, oh no, nigga, if it left with you, it need to come back. If it left in your hands, it need to make its way back here. We ain't bull jiving. We are not bull jiving. Let me thank Parnell Victor here. Thank you very much for your support tonight's program. Jughead, Mr. Nichols, J-Bo Diesel, Fuquan, and everybody else here. Thank you very much for your support for tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. If you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the Haven of Intelligent Black Thought. We do this every weekend, holidays, some days in between, and including Thanksgiving, by the way. So while y'all are making your carb-free cornbread, we'll be broadcasting. You can join us if you want to for that. Damn! Click that subscribe button, that notification button. Join us each and every time that we are here. If you haven't been to blackchannelfilms.com, check out our groundbreaking best-selling documentary work at blackchannelfilms.com. I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in to tonight's program. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and sisters from around the world, remember, Black is the future, and the future is uncompromising.